Hello, welcome to my live on YouTube. Today is Saturday the 14th of June and it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. I'm going to spend maybe 1 or 2 hours depending on who comes along and who asks me questions or not, depending on the flow. But for those who don't know me and who are watching this on replay, I'm a therapist and coach. And I come here on my free time, both on YouTube and TikTok, to do live, to spread some knowledge, some information, some suggestions, and have conversation with anyone who is interested about topics that are related to mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, relationships, mindset, mindfulness, anything to do with those things here, and how we can enhance any aspect of our life by addressing those perspectives. And so the way that I do it, I always start by reading and commenting on some of the posts that I put out on TikTok. And hopefully by the time I'm done, there'll be some people around inspired to ask me some questions so we can start some conversations together. Okay? So let's get started. The first post that I'm going to read goes like this. If you believe at an emotional level that you will get what you want, you have done already most of the work. And so this is to explain that the one most important thing in any aspect of our life is to really believe that it's going to happen, that we deserve it, that it's available to us, that we want it, and that we know that we can get it. Just that is where everything starts, or everything doesn't start, stays stuck. Because everything about our life, everything about our actions, let's phrase it like that, everything about our life is down to the actions that we're going to take to create that thing. But those actions are allowed by how we feel about ourselves. We are emotional beings, and we are all limited and driven by our emotional states. They are subconscious, we have no awareness of them, but they literally control all of our actions and even every single one of our thoughts. And so what it means is that if we believe at an emotional level that what we want is available to us and we want it, then we'll have the drive, the energy to come up with the right thought that will inspire us to have better emotions furthermore, so that we can take the right actions, so that we can shape our life the way we want to. But if I believe that what I want is not available to me, it's going to be the opposite. My body is going to prevent me from getting too close to that thing. If I believe that something that I want is not available to me, there's a part of me that is going to believe that that thing that I want is actually potentially dangerous. So it's going to sabotage, keep me away from that thing, and it's going to make it much harder for me to ever manifest, create that thing. So I hope it makes sense. It's me just explaining how, yes, everything about us is about emotions. It's very, very important. We are emotional beings that think. We are not thinking beings that feel. It goes in that order. Now, we are networks, so it goes both ways eventually, but it all starts with emotions. 95% of our mind is subconscious and emotional. So something that many of us don't realize. We've been so taught that everything is about intelligence, IQ, rational thinking, logic, and we don't realize that even the thought that we have, they're limited and decided by our emotional mind. So we have a lot of thoughts, and those thoughts are just happenings. But the reason why we have some thoughts more than other thoughts is because our emotional mind tells us that those thoughts are more important, they're more urgent. And so that's a different perspective. Next post goes like this. Your pain is not your body punishing you. It is your body communicating with you. So very often when we have some pain, we're angry, we feel bad, we're not happy because it sucks, it doesn't feel right. But also we feel somehow that our body is kind of mean to us. When really, what I'm trying to say here is that every signal that we sense, everything that we feel, could it be emotions, feelings, or bodily sensations, they're all signals from our body. And our body is trying to tell us something. So if we can understand, so it's a process, because sometimes the meaning is not just there. We need to understand the bigger picture to understand precisely why this is happening. But every single thing that is happening in our body are just responses and signals from our body trying to communicate something to us. If you can see it like that, when we are experiencing pain, it's much easier to deal with the pain. We don't need to react to it, to try to avoid it, to be angry at it. We can try to feel it and allow it to dissipate instead of resisting it. If we resist pain, the more we resist an emotion, a feeling, a sensations, or pain, the more it's going to push back, and the more intense it's going to be felt. So anyway, that was the idea behind that post. And finally, the third post that was on Thursday goes like this. If you didn't spot the red flags, this could be because to you they're not red. They look normal, familiar, they even feel homely. And so this is about how the way we see ourselves is going to determine the kind of people that we're going to attract and allow and even invite in our lives. And so if we see red flags, typically we would actually avoid those people. But for some of us, the red flags are actually exciting. They feel familiar. We're actually attracted by them because at the subconscious level, again, they remind us of the people who looked after us when we grew up. And so if we have not been loved, if we have been taught that love was conditional, there was such thing as tough love. Love comes with sacrifice, pain, then that's the sort of love that we believe is available to us. We believe that this is love as far as we are concerned. And now, if we meet people who are going to have some sort of energy, who are going to be distant or mean or manipulative, our subconscious mind is going to recognize those people, and we're going to actually feel that there's something about them that makes us want to be with them. We are attracted to what feels familiar. And so relationship is very important to realize. Some people say, why do I always attract the bad girls, the bad boys, the bad people in my life? It's not that you attract. It's more like you welcome them, you invite them, you look for them, you want them, you search them because they complete the narrative that you have about yourself. Okay. And finally, I want to read a series, just 4 posts that I've written that I'm going to put today, and I put yesterday a little bit. And I really like them because they're like little parables that tell stories. And so it goes like this. The first one goes like this. Someone stole my bag the other day. I decided to give him the bag, and I recovered very quickly from that experience. So now we're talking about mindfulness, wisdom, Buddhist wisdom, and essentially, it's a story. It did not happen to me. I borrowed it from someone who put a comment on my post, and I found it was very, very nice. So I decided to recycle this. And the idea behind this is that if something happens to you, you can either be angry at that situation, at that person, or you can decide, it's okay, it happened, I'm going to give it to you. So now we're relinquishing, we're letting go of the burden of anger, of resentment, of injustice and unfairness. And so try this the other time. Try this the next time. If someone does something to you and there's nothing you can do about it, accept that it has happened and mentally choose to let it go. And it will be by far the easiest way to deal with that situation. Because otherwise we can spend hours, days thinking about it and really being really stressed out because of a situation that has happened and there's nothing we can do about it. So why prolong it anyway? Second post, similar to that, goes like this. Someone was rude to me the other day. I decided to feel sorry for him because I understand that only hurt people hurt people. And it was easy for me to move on with my day. So again, it's very, very similar. And this has happened to me in many times in my life. Once I have changed, so I used to be very different, but once I understood that, when people have been rude to me ever since, I don't react to them anymore, as in, how dare you speak to me like that? I'm thinking, why are they speaking to me like that? Because they are carrying a lot of hurt, a lot of anger, a lot of judgment. They're projecting their own self-judgment over the world, and now they're reacting to me because I'm holding something that is reflecting something about them that they don't like. They're projecting. And so I can't take this personally. And so I feel sorry for them. And it's the thing, if you can feel sorry for someone, you can never be angry or upset at them because you're feeling sorry for them. I'm looking at them through the lenses of compassion and empathy and understanding, and just like that, if they can be as rude as they want, I'm going to keep away from them, of course. I'm not going to allow them to continue, but at least I'm not going to be upset at them because they said something. I'm going to think, okay, it's just words, it doesn't matter. They're just expressing their own anger and hurt out there. It's got nothing to do with me, and I'm feeling sorry for them. And just like that, it's much easier to move on with the day. Third post, similar to that, goes like this. Someone rejected me the other day. I decided that it was not a rejection, but a redirection. And I felt better straight away. So again, I have borderline personality disorder, and so I do take things personally, but I have worked on myself. I disarmed the triggers, and I have all of the systems in place. And one of the things with BPD is that we are obsessed with being rejected. We're scared. It's the fear of abandonment. And we are thinking about it all the time. And whenever people behave, say, or show different facial expressions, we're going to interpret it as if they are abandoning us or rejecting us. And so I used to take everything personally. And I used to really, really be obsessed and suffer from this for many, many years of my life. But then I understood and I changed. And I realized that rejection is only redirection. If you can change the definition, the meaning of something now, it doesn't mean anything negative. It can't hurt you anymore. And so in the past, if someone would reject me, I would feel, my belief would be, they reject me because I am not good enough, because there's something wrong about me, because I am inferior. And it says that I will never be accepted by people that I want to be accepted from or by. But now I'm changing the narrative. If they're rejecting me, they're not rejecting me. They're telling me that I am not their people at that point in time, and it's okay, because it's a big world out there. It doesn't say anything about me as a person. It only says that we're not compatible, and it's absolutely fair enough. Not everyone has got to be compatible. It's only telling me, those bunch are not your bunch. Seek other people, and you will find your tribe at some point. And so, by changing again the meaning of things, we're feeling much better about ourselves. By changing the belief, by changing the narrative that we have about that situation, it changes everything. And finally, the last post that is similar to that little series goes like this. Someone disappointed me the other day, and so I decided to forgive myself for expecting something from them. Because who am I to expect anything from anyone? And I felt unburdened from my unmet expectations instantly. And so again, we are often disappointed by people. But if we are disappointed, it's only because we have expectations. And if you think about this, who are we to expect anything from anyone? People are doing their things, expecting something from someone. It's like saying, I'm the center of the world, this is what I want, and because I want it, it's going to happen, otherwise I'm going to be very, very unhappy, and you are a bad person, and you should be punished. And it's not like that. It's normal and it's human to have expectations, but we don't want to have the habit of reinforcing this to the point that it's creating problems in our lives. We want to realize that our expectations, our desire, are just whims, and if we realize that what we want is not happening, the best thing to do is to let go of the expectation, let go of us wanting that thing. So basically practicing non-attachment, so that we are relieved from the disappointment. If you don't have expectations anymore, you can't be disappointed anymore either. That's it. So basically, if we can change really all of those filters that we have for everything, our life could be so much easier and simpler and kinder. Okay, now I'm going to read the comment. I can see there are some people. We have Kay Stevens. Hi. Hello, Kay. Gaofam FFX. Hi. Hello. Gaofam, please subscribe. Running Man. Submine. So Running Man, I don't like this. This is a racist comment. It's not nice. It's very, very unkind. And so I'm not going to tolerate this. I don't take it personally anymore. But I wish you a good day. And I hope that you can maybe think about this. But I'm creating a place for people to talk about their mental health. And you are coming here with your big shoes, trying to be smart and funny and just spreading some negativity. And so, although I understand where you're coming from, I understand that people who are trolling others on social media, they are lonely and hurt people. And I used to be the same in real life. So I get it. However, I need to create a space that is safe for everyone. And because of that, I'm going to block you. Okay? And know also that whatever that you have written, we're going to ignore it. So you just wasted your time. But I hope that you found peace at some point and you realize that it's not clever, but also it's not so I'm going to report it hate speech. It's not kind to people, but also it's not kind to you either, because it's not going to make your life better. Anyway, let's move on. I'm doing this also to show people how to set boundaries. It's very simple. We don't need to be aggravated. We don't need to be angry. We just need to realize that sometimes people are different and they are in a different place in their life and they have a different energy. And again, I used to be like that for a long time, so I understand. I used to feed on people's reactions by trying to poke them, because it's the only way I knew how to get a reaction from others. Again, I've got conditions, I've got my own set of traumas, and that creates that. But thankfully, I was lucky enough to see it and to change. And yeah, I'm here to talk about all those things. Loki. Hello, Loki. Lynn. Good afternoon, Didi. Good afternoon, Lynn. How are you doing? Running Man. Okay, let's forget about this. Loki, so positive. So let me... Running Man. Let me block them. Again. Okay. Loki, so positive. Thank you, Loki. Nice words. Thank you, Loki. Mariam, go. Just want to say that the glasses look nice. All right, thank you very much. Omnam. Hi, Didi. Hello, Omnam. So, guys, now, for those who are, there's a little bit of people in the background. If you're watching, I'm here to take questions, to talk about anything you'd like to talk about, to do with mental health, therapy, human behavior, psychology, mindset, mindfulness, and even a dash of spirituality if you're into those sort of things. And of course, if there are going to be any trolls, we'll get rid of them so we can move on. It's bound to happen. It's normal. It's the social media. But I want people to know that I will do my utmost to make sure that we are a nice bunch and we can go in depth. I will do my best to answer a question personally and give you some recommendations that can hopefully be actionable. Right? So I don't have any questions just yet. So I'm going to carry on reading my post, and hopefully at some point some of you will be inspired to ask me something. Here's one that I like. One of the posts that I put out on TikTok yesterday goes like this. The opposite of anxiety is not calm. The opposite of anxiety is presence. And so we like to believe that the opposite of anxiety is confidence or being at peace. But actually, the most useful way to think about it is to be present. If you are learning how to be mindful of this moment, then you cannot be anxious. Anxiety exists only in the future, when you're thinking about the future. And those are the premises of mindfulness. If you can learn how to be present in this moment, by focusing on your breath, by focusing on your immediate surroundings, by focusing on how you feel in your body, then you will realize that right here, right now, you're safe. Right here, right now, you're at peace. Right here, right now, you're content. Right here, right now, everything is fine. We suffer because we think about things that are not here. We may be angry at the past. We may be scared or anxious and worried about the future. But if we come back here in this moment, there's nothing really for us to feel bad about for the vast majority of times, right? And so that was the idea behind this. The opposite of anxiety is not calm, it is presence. Learning to be present, it's a skill. But it's absolutely the one skill that we should teach everyone who gets stressed out, who get worried, who have anxiety of any sort. Next post goes like this. Fear is focusing on the darkness outside. Inner peace is focusing on the light inside. And so when we are looking outside, we don't know what's going to happen, and because of that we create fear. But if you can look inward and feel inside of our body, look into our self, then we can realize inside we can find peace. It's possible to do this. Wherever we put our attention on is going to create the sort of thoughts and emotions that we're going to experience. And that's why it's so important to remember that our attention, as in where we choose to focus our attention, is the most important thing that we can do to address any aspect of our life. And that's it. I'm gonna have a little sip of coffee, have a little break from talking, and guys, ask me something, anything. Okay, one of your videos said meant to be nice, trying to do something. Can you elaborate? Trying to and doing. Let me try to understand. One of your videos said meant to be nice, trying to do something. I don't understand. I don't get it at all. I don't remember. So I want to have a conversation with you, but is there any way you can phrase it in a way that I can understand, please? Meant to be nice, trying to be nice. Was it the difference between being nice and being kind? Could you confirm this for me, please? Because that's something that I remember. But trying to do something, but I don't remember anything based on how you phrased it. I'm just looking to address what came out of my mind, but do correct me. If it's not it, do ask me again, please, in a different way. But I think there's a video that I talk about, there's a difference between kind and being nice. And so people who are nice, they want to make sure that everyone is happy, that the decorum is how it should be, that everyone is behaving, and nice basically is it's just covering things and pretending that everything is okay. Nice is not bad, but the energy that comes from it is more of a people pleaser. Let's say someone who's been traumatized or neglected in childhood, and they've developed the habit of being nice, and inside of them they don't really want to be good to others. They're not nice because they care about the well-being of others. They're nice because it's something that they should be doing, because otherwise they're not good people. They do it because good people do that. And also they do it because maybe they're scared of confrontation. So it's easier to be nice. Being kind, on the other hand, is different. Being kind is doing something because it feels right. I care for that person. I want them to be happy, to be better. And so I'm going to do something out of my way. And as I'm doing this, it makes me feel good. I'm happy to be kind to others. It makes me feel better. And so that's the difference. I think someone came up with a very good analogy. In America, people are going to say that New Yorkers are kind, but Californians are nice. So basically, if you go in California, according to them, according to that phrase, if you meet people, everyone's going to be very friendly, very nice, talking to you, asking about you and things. But if your car breaks down, they're not going to help you. If you go to New York, everyone is going to be rude, they're going to be in your face, they're going to be direct. However, if your car breaks down, they will help you. That's the difference between kind and nice. And so my point was to just show this so that people can realize that sometimes we do things not because we are kind, but because we want to be nice. And again, being nice is better than being an a-hole, right? I agree. However, if we can think about it from a deeper perspective and realize that there's more to this than that, we can realize that, I don't have to be nice if I don't feel like it. And I can also learn how to be kind instead of just being nice. That's it. Hope it makes sense. Was it what you meant, Kay, or not? Omnom, I passed all my exams. Yay, me. Fantastic. Well done, Omnom. Congratulations. Very good. So, yep. It's easier, and it feels so much easier on the other side of it, doesn't it? Omnom, now I have no idea what to do with my life. Okay, we can talk about this. And so you don't need to have an idea of where you're going to go in your life. All you need to do is to take it one day at a time. Learn how to listen to your body. Learn how to listen to your intuition. Pay attention to the signs. Follow the flow and see what happens one day at a time. The problem is that when we are at the sort of crossroad, like we just passed university exam, we believe that we must have a decision that is very important. And if I don't take the right decision, I'm going to mess out my whole life. But this is not true. Your whole life is an unfolding, is an adventure, is an exploration. And so sometimes we have decisions that we take that correlate with what was best for us, and it works for us. But sometimes it's not like that, and it's okay. Because you can always recalibrate, you can try different things, you can experiment different things and realize, okay, this I like, this I don't like, oh, but I don't like this anymore, so I'm going to try something else. And again, eventually, as you try different things, you will find not only something that really, really speaks to you, but also you will realize that everything that you've done has contributed to your point of view. And so whatever that you do, what makes you unique in that field is your perspective, right? People who think out of the box, they do that because they come from different mental spaces. If everyone has the same curriculum and the same kind of life journey, everyone thinks the same. The difference between a genius and someone that is not a genius is just that, the little shift in perspective. And that is the result of everything else that happened in your life. And so even if you are taking 10 years to get to find out what it is that is really important to you and make it your living, everything else would have contributed to your point of view and will make your perspective different. And so everything is always useful. Nothing is ever wasted. You never waste your time. You never make wrong choices. It's like that movie from Danny Boyle, Slumdog Millionaire. So there's that guy who wants to be a millionaire in India. So it's exaggerated, it's a drama. But the amazing thing about it is that every time he's asked a question, he remembers some things about his childhood that has got nothing to do with that question. But somehow it was there to give him that solution, that answer then. And it's very similar to everything that we do. We forget that we tend to be unkind to ourselves and say, I'm wasting my time, I'm making the wrong decisions, what's wrong with me? But if we can zoom out and realize that everything that we've done and experienced is there and it's going to be useful at some point in the most unpredictable and weird ways. But this is really what our whole life is about. We don't have to be, let's say, if you are a scientist, you don't have to do only scientific things, you know. Someone who is a scientist and let's say they're into art, the artsy bit may be the one thing that gets them to have a fantastic perspective that no other scientists have, and so forth and so on. I hope it makes sense. Lynn, how do I respond to a sibling who has texted after 9 months of silence? He only ever contacts when he wants something. It depends on how you feel about it. It depends on the relationship that you have with them. It depends on what sort of things you want to achieve with your sibling. I'd say the first thing that comes to my mind would be speak out, tell them, yo, where have you been all that time? You only come to see me when you need me. If you feel bad about something, very often we don't speak out our truth. We just keep it inside. We're like, oh, that's wrong. Why are they behaving like that? And we're thinking, people shouldn't be doing those sort of things, but we don't express those things, and so we don't know. The first thing is to really communicate this. Now, if you have communicated this, tell me what happened, and that will lead me to my next answer in regards to that conversation. First thing, talk to them. We kind of assume that because we don't like this, they should know this. They should know better. But they don't, because otherwise they wouldn't. And so the best thing to do is to just ask. We assume all sorts of things, we project our reality on others, and we forget that they have their own internal realities and their own things in their own life, and we don't know what's going on in their life. And so there could be myriads of reasons as to why it's difficult for them to communicate with you, and they can only come to see you when they really need it. So yes, talk and see what happens. And if you've done that already, do tell me what were the outcomes so we can cover the next thing about that conversation. Lynn, congratulations, Omnum. Yes. Okay, when someone says they're trying to be nice, I inferred it was for selfish motivations. You answered my questions. People who give kindness to get something in return has an expectation, acting nice. Yes. So yes. Okay. So let me read again. So I kind of understand more, but I don't know which side you are on. When someone says they are trying to be nice, I inferred it was for selfish motivations. Yes. So phrase like that, it would make sense to me. When someone are nice, generally speaking, it's selfish in the sense that they're doing it because they're getting something from it. It's not selfless. Now, selfish is not necessarily bad. There are reasons behind it. We can explain it. But it's true that people who are being nice, generally, they're doing this because they get something in return. So if I'm being nice to someone, I'm getting peace. I'm getting normality. If everyone is very social, so I'm feeling safe. This is what I understand about life, and it's normal, and it feels good to me. So that's what I get in return. In reality, everything is selfish anyway, because we do everything because we get something in return, or because it soothes our nervous system. But I think when we say someone is selfish, we are cognitively thinking, plotting something to get something out of it. So let me try to get this. I inferred it was for selfish motivations. You answered my questions. People who give kindness to get something in return, acting nice. So what's the difference? So this is what I said. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. If you're being kind, you're not expecting anything. You're doing this because the act of doing it already makes you happy. So you're not expecting anything from it, back from it, right? If you're being nice doesn't make you happy as you're doing it. The happiness comes from people reacting in certain ways and saying, oh, thank you. Or the niceness, the good energy, the positivity comes after, right? You don't feel it when you are being nice. But when you are being kind, you don't do it because you expect anything. Genuine, true kindness is about doing this because when I'm doing it, I'm already happy doing it. This is my reward. It's happening as I am doing it. And I don't need the person to say thank you. I don't need the person to acknowledge it. I'm already happy just by doing it. If I do something and I'm thinking, oh, they're so rude, they didn't say thank you, then it was not kindness. It was nice. It was everyone should abide by the social norms, and if they don't, then they're bad. And that's why I'm doing this, because society tells me that I should be a good person, and this is what good people do. And so that's what I was trying to say. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. I hope it makes sense. Does it? Okay. And it's true that when people are nice, they do this to get something in return. Whereas when you are being kind, you don't need anything in return. It may happen, and you may be even happier when you get something in return. But you're already happy as you are doing that act of kindness. Because kindness, just like everything that we project out there, it's an energy. And so if you're going to project anger, insert someone, we don't realize that we are generating that energy before it comes here, we can say it and throw it on the other people. So it means that when you are angry at someone, you are the first recipient of that negative energy. Your nervous system, your body is feeling it before they can feel it. And so that's why it's so important to be kind, because precisely on the other end of the spectrum, when we are being kind to someone, we are generating that energy of kindness, and it's coming from us to them. And we're healing ourselves, and we are lifting our energy and our vibration by doing that every time. We are being genuinely kind to others. But of course, not everyone can be kind. It all depends on where we are. If we are hurt, if we have a lot of baggage and burden, kindness will be very expensive. It's going to be very difficult. For many of us, we don't even know what kindness is. If we've been hurt, a lot of people are going to believe that kindness means being vulnerable and allowing people to hurt you. And it's not true. But if you are hurt, this is what you will believe, because you don't know how to cope with things. And so you're going to try to control what you have control over, which is what you do. When really kindness never creates any of those problems. If people are taking advantage of you, it's never because you are kind or vulnerable. It is because you don't set boundaries, because you don't know how to do this. Hope it makes sense. Does it, Kay? Omnom Atlin, thanks. I secured. You know the toxic person. A teacher at my school is forcing us to be friends with her. The teacher pulled all my friends out of class except me, and she started to guilt-tripping them. So let me have coffee and try to understand this. You know the toxic person? Question mark. A teacher at my school is forcing us to be friends with her. Okay. The teacher pulled all my friends out of class except me. She started to guilt-tripping them. She started to guilt-tripping them. Them or you? This is a bit. This is the confusing part. I don't understand. Could you clarify this for me, please? But just to say, yes, some people can behave in ways that are toxic when it's manipulative. It does happen. And I'm not surprised also at school. There are some job descriptions that would appeal to narcissistic people. And so any positions of power and authority, and being a teacher is one of them, may attract narcissistic people. Now, not all of them, of course, but some may be in that profession just because it gives them power and authority over others. So I wouldn't be surprised, yes, it does happen. K, yes, give from the heart with no expectation in return, like you're giving your time. Yes, but this is something that some people can do and some people cannot do. It depends on where you are within the journey of your life. I, for instance, had to learn how to be kind because of my own trauma, because of my own past, because of my own conditions. For a long, long time, I didn't know what it was to be kind to people, and I had to be mean to them only because it's the only way I knew how to interact with them. I needed to be seen. I needed to know that I was not invisible, that I existed. And so the only way I knew how to do that was to poke them, to get them to react to me. And I hated that. I didn't like it at all. I hated myself for creating all those problems all the time. But I didn't know any better. And this is what I always say. If I have been given love and kindness, I would have interacted with people with love and kindness. But because I was not given love or kindness, I didn't know. I only knew resentment, reactivity, blame, judgment, being nasty and petty. This I knew very well because this is what I have been given. And so it's very important to realize that we're all different and we don't want to judge people who are like that because we don't know the bigger picture. We don't know what led them, what happened to them to be like that. Now, if they are not a cup of tea, it's okay to create a space between us and them. But what I'm saying is that we don't want to be self-righteous and think this is why you should be doing this, otherwise you're not a good person. The reality of this is that we're all doing our best based on whatever happened to us up to this point in our life. Yeah. I secured. She told my friend that the allegations against them is horrific, but she didn't even mention what they were. Okay, so telling me about the situation that happened at school. What would you like me to do about this? Is there anything you'd like me to suggest you? How is it making you feel? Because I cannot change what is happening. I cannot change what people are doing or saying or their behavior. What I can do is to change how you feel about this. And those are the premises of healing and self-growth. We need to realize and accept that there's a world around us, there are situations and events that are unfolding all the time. And more often than not, we have no control, we have no input about any of those things. We can influence those things, some of the things, sometimes. But more often than not, the best way to deal with all of those things, if there's nothing that we can do to influence those things in this moment, is to change the way we look at those things. And as we change the way we look at those things, we have a different experience. And as we have a different experience, we feel different, and the way we feel is going to create a whole different reality for us. So I could think, they're doing this, they're saying this, I hate that, I don't like it, why are they doing this? It's not fair. But as long as I'm putting my attention on them, I'm going to feel terrible. There's not much I can do. Unless there's something that you can do. If you can speak, tell them, then you can do that. But if you can't, if you're just observing them, if you're having hearsay, gossips, what is it that is going to be able for you to do about? There's nothing. And so what you can do is to change the way you look at it and think, people are people. Do I want to be affected by that? Or what should I do in order to address this in the future? Or when I have that opportunity, then. Whenever we're facing adversity, we have the choice to either try to do something about it, or if we cannot do anything about it, we can accept it. It's happening, there's nothing that I can do about it for now. Right here, right now, there's nothing I can do about it, so I have to accept it. Or, number 3, we can think about it. And if we think about it, whilst not being able to do anything about it, whilst not being able to accept it and let it go, we will suffer from it. And so, yeah. If you tell me more, I'm happy to talk about it. But at this point in time, I'm not sure in which capacity you would like me to intervene in regards to a situation. So I'm saying, when we're facing adversity, we have 3 solutions. We can either try to do something in the moment, And if we can't do anything, we want to accept and let it go. But if we can't, and we're thinking about it, we will create suffering. So we need to come back here. Can I do something about this right around now? Yes, do it. But if it's a no, accept it and let it go. If there's nothing I can do about it, I must accept it for now, because each moment is followed by another moment. So each moment brings new opportunities, options, and possibilities. But right here, right now, that's it. I must accept that I can't do anything about it. Does it help? Does it make sense? I see code. Luke Aladdin said hi. Hello, Luke. K. My mother's family judged my brother and unknowingly made him feel unlovable. Okay. I understand now his behavior towards me. Okay, thank you, K. He saw me as taking his mother's attention away from him, acting out. Fantastic. So this is a great level of self-awareness. It's not easy to reflect on those sort of things. And so you've done this. Very good. So have you had a chance to speak to him? What I would say is, if you haven't, take that opportunity. At some point, sit down with him and say, I'm sorry that you felt like that. I couldn't see it then, but now I see it, and I can't imagine how bad you felt. So I hope that we can somehow start afresh, and I want you to realize that now I can see you, now I'm here for you, now I see and I accept you as a person, and if you need me, I would love to be kind to you and do something for you. That's how you fix your own your own baggage, because we don't realize that when we do things to others and we realize what we've done with things, it's still there in some capacity. We may not think about it all day long and have nightmares about it, but it's still little little bags of negative energy that is accumulating inside of us. So we can find a way to release all of those things. Then we're feeling lighter. We are elevating our vibration, and also we are helping others be better. And so I had the same myself. I used to be horrible to a lot of people, and I'm still working on this. There are some members of my family, from my friends, that I would like to meet at some point and try to speak to them and tell them I'm sorry that this happened. I was too young, I didn't know, now I realize. And I don't know if they're ready. They may never be ready. I may have traumatized them, or they may be too far away. They may not care about me or not remember me even. But I'm doing my best to let go of those things. And I need to realize that I need to accept that some people will never forgive me. But there's a part of me that still wants, if I can, to connect with them and at some point speak to them. I'm sorry that this happened. I was a bully. I was unkind. I was overwhelmed. But I want you to see, to know that I'm feeling bad for how I've made you feel. And I hope that this will maybe ease a little bit how you feel about yourself today. I think it's very important to do if we can do those things. And we're releasing all of those little bits of our past that are still hurting us somehow. Kay Stevens, thank you for that, Didi. Thank you. Animan, what is RTT? RTT stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. It's a protocol that I use within my practice as a therapist to help my clients. It's a blend of hypnosis, regression, and belief reframing at a subconscious level. So basically, we go back into the memories of the past, and we need to realize that whatever problem someone has is because of something that happened to them in the past. Whatever we go through in our childhood, if we don't feel safe, if we're feeling hurt, abused, neglected, if we feel invisible, if we are not feeling unconditional love, our mind is going to create some system to protect us. If I am not unconditionally loved as a child, it means to me that I'm not safe. My caregivers, my parents must always love me, otherwise then I'm left on my own device. And so because of that, we're going to create some systems to look after ourselves. And those systems, if they're not addressed, they're going to develop into all sorts of different situations. And now we have anxiety, depression, addiction, self-sabotage, anger issues, inability to regulate stress, addiction to food, to alcohol, to distractions, any of those things. They all are evolutions of systems that we have put into place in our childhood to deal with whatever was happening to us then. And so with the RTT, we go back into those places precisely, directly. There's no hit and miss because it's in your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind knows exactly what happened. And we're going to change the energy of this event and how you see yourself in regards to those situations, so that it tells your body that you don't need those systems anymore. And so let's say if I've been traumatized, I understand that the trauma has created for my body, my brain, my mind to be constantly alert because it wants to protect me from that happening again. But if I can find a way to go into subconscious mind and say, okay, this happened. However, now you have a coping mechanism, now you're intelligent, now you can deal with that, and you don't need to go back into the past. This is before, now is different. Then your body will no longer need that hypervigilance to protect you anymore. Because now you know that you're safe. If you can find a way to convince yourself that you're safe, that you have solid coping strategies, then you never need the anxiety, the depression, or any of those things anymore. And just like that, we address those subconscious triggers, subconscious filters, subconscious blocks, baggage, burden, associations, attachment, all those things that are subconscious, that are getting us to react and feel the way we feel because of whatever is triggering us in that moment. And so this is what RTT is. We change the emotional intensity of the episodes of some situations that were very important to us in our childhood. And then, as we do this, because there's no past to return to. And so when we address the memories, we're addressing ourselves now. This is the beautiful thing about understanding all of this. There's no past. And so your trauma doesn't live in the past. It lives now, in the present, in your nervous system. And so it means that we can address this now, in the present. We never need to go back into the past. We go back into the memories of the past, which is a reflection of how you see yourself because of what happened to you. And by changing that, we're changing your personality. We're changing some aspects of your personality. We're changing the limiting belief that are creating all those problems. And that's it. This is what RTT means. Animan, thanks very much. Amazing explanation. Thank you. Solving my Redeemer. Hello. Like the many poetry videos I've posted on YouTube and get hundreds of views and not a single like. No comments, no feedback, nothing makes me want to quit. But I'm not a quitter looking for new ways. Okay, so I can address this because I'm a creator myself. I do YouTube, I do TikTok. So even though it's not my day job, I'm a therapist, but I'm invested. I need to spend time, I want to create something. And so my advice to you is do things for your own personal growth. Don't do things for the likes. Don't do things for the views. Focus all of your attention solely on your personal growth. Focus on the doing, not on the outcomes. As long as you're focusing on the outcomes, you're going to dilute your energy away. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh, it's not working. I'm not good enough. What's wrong with me? And now you're going to feel bad. It's going to slow you down. It's going to make it heavy. It may make you stop altogether. A lot of people stop and give up because of that. And so know that outcomes happen anyway, no matter what happens. So you don't need to think about them. What you can think about, however, is to enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy your personal growth. How can I be better at this? How can I do better videos? How can I write better script? How can I learn how to have a better delivery? How to be more articulate or whatever? How can I have a better setup? How can I have better film, better ideas? How can I record better? How can I edit better? How can I know how to market my stuff and know what time I need to put these things out better? Just focus on the doing, not the outcomes. And as you do this, you will become better and it will feel easier because you're not waiting for something to happen. You're actively in control of what you're doing. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to explore learning how to do this better, find some better tools to use. I'm going to read some books that are going to inspire me to write better content or whatever that it may be. And now you're excited because you're focusing on growth. Growth is a fantastic energy to have. You're growing. It's the best thing. This is your whole point in this existence, is to grow, right? Not to survive. And so focus on the doing, focus on enjoying the doing, and make the doing your personal growth. And as you do that, over time, you will become better and better and better. And at some point, people will like your stuff. People will interact with you. People will see you because you have get to that level. What we don't realize is that on the social media, there's so much competition, there's so many people, and we don't realize how we come across. And so I, for instance, when I first started, I don't know, a few years ago, it was all horrible, terrible, like the videos. And then after a while, I did some new videos and I'm like, I'm so much better compared to the other ones. Gosh, I'm so glad I've got better. But then after a certain while, I was look back at those and think, they're still rubbish. Now I'm better. And so forth and so on. It's ongoing. If you look back at what you do in the past, it's always cringy because you always become better. Becoming better, if you focus on the doing, is inevitable. And so it's pointless to look backward. If I look at my first videos that are still there on YouTube, I'm like, cringy. But I don't have time to do long form videos just yet because of my other commitment. And so I accept it. I know that at some point I will do some new, fresh, long form videos on YouTube, and they're going to be amazing because it's been such a long time and I've changed so much. I've learned so much ever since. But the videos that I have let, not only they make me cringe, but I remember that when I did them, I was like, gosh, it's amazing. They're the best videos ever. I'm so good, but I have evolved so much. I'm so very, very excellent at it. But now looking back at it, I'm like, they're rubbish. Oh, I hate it. And that's an ongoing process. And so focus on the doing, focus on your growth. And as you do that, you will realize that you're getting better and better and better. Don't look back and don't wait for outcomes. Just focus on the now, on the present, on the doing, on the growth, on the excitement, on the journey, on the process, and things will be much easier, and you will get eventually the outcomes that you're wishing for. You will have the likes, you will have the people who want to interact with you, who see you, who are coming back for you, who get you. But this is a whole journey that you are doing, and so keep going, and you'll be all right. Thank you for the little heart. Josiah, hi Didi, missed you a lot. Thank you so much. Well, I'm here. If there's anything you want to talk about, just do. Mumu, hi, hello Mumu. Serving my Redeemer. Thanks again so much, Sensei Didikan. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so there you go. I think if you watch any content creator, they will say that to you. It takes like, I don't know, hundreds of videos before one of them is of okay quality. And so it doesn't matter, just do your thing. You know, we may think, yes, but I'm going to come across as a silly, but the truth of the matter is that no one cares. It's a big world out there. So think about, pardon me, your social media as a platform for you to learn your skills, to grow. And you will attract the right people at the right time. Isamu, hi, hello Isamu. Serving my Redeemer, turn the journey into joy. Yes, you must enjoy what you do. When you do things with the energy of joy, your mind is clearer. You have more access to your intelligence, to your memories, to your bank of information. You are vibrating at a higher level. When you're happy, your brain is so much more optimal. Rather than, I need to do this, I'm forcing myself, oh, it's so hard. When we do that, then it's going to be much, much harder to move forward in whatever that we're doing. This is what the brain is about. It's really important to realize this. This is what people say, do what you love what you do. Because the energy that drives your actions is going to determine not only the nature of what you get out of it, but also the very experience of doing it. And so you might as well enjoy what you are doing. And also when you enjoy it, you will get so much more. You will have more ideas, more imagination, more intuition, more, yes, more of all of those things. So joy is important. I did put a video a little while ago that was a little bit viral, at least at my level. And it was about how it takes about 400 repetitions for the brain to get a new information. But if you do it with joy, with fun, with lightheartedness, with curiosity, then it only takes, I don't know, 20, 50 repetitions. So the numbers are just numbers. There are all sorts of numbers out there, but throughout the years, I've read some sort of things. I remember some studies suggesting that if you learn a new language, to learn how to say a new word automatically, you need to repeat it a few thousand times. I don't know. But if you learn it in play, in game, you're having fun, maybe it's in a song, maybe it's connected to something, to a movie that you enjoy, now 50 reps, you get it. Because joy is the difference. And so in your journey of being a YouTuber or social media creator, make it fun. And anyone who's watching, whatever what you're doing in regards to creating something, make it fun. The success is not what you get out of this. The first success is having fun doing it and growing as a person, growing as that within that job position, becoming better at that thing that you're doing. Josiah, you missed my question above. I didn't see anything. So I'm going to go back. It's from Josiah. Josiah, I have missed you a lot. And that's it. I don't have anything else, Josiah. I'm going back to the very beginning. I can see right, there's nothing else from you, Josiah, I'm afraid. Would you like to type it again? Maybe something happened, there was a glitch in the matrix, but I didn't see anything else from you at all. Yeah, sorry, Josiah. Mumu, hi. Serving my Redeemer. Thanks again so much, Sensei. Okay, so I read that already. Turn the journey into joy. Yes. Josiah, so yes. I didn't miss anything. Or maybe I did, but I can't find it. Could you type it again, please? K, can you elaborate on a rescuer or person who believes they help people in a supposedly desperate situation and this pattern of behavior? So I'm not sure that I understand, but I'm going to try something and you correct me if I'm right, as in if I'm talking about what you want me to talk about. Can you elaborate on a rescuer, a person who believes they help people in a supposedly desperate situation and this pattern of behavior? So basically, some of us, we are helpers. Some of us are healers. Some of us are always helping others. Is that what you mean? If that is what you mean, I'm going to talk about it a little bit. If not, once I'm done, correct me, and then I can go on a different tangent. But we all have a different idea of who we are based on many things. But there's one thing that is very important that we use a lot in my line of work is to realize that when we are in a family, we have a different role within the family. So there are different models, but the models that I use is the one I've been taught by Marisa Peer. And essentially, she says that in a family, we have 4 positions that we can have, regardless of the size of the family. We are all sort of different things, but there's one of the things that will be more pronounced for each single individual in that family cell. So we can either be the brilliant one, the hero, the one that is successful, that brings food on the table, that is popular. Number 2, we can be the sick one, the person who needs some help, who is always having problems. We can be the caregiver or the healer. And that person has a special bond with the sick person. They're always looking after that sick person. And that's their sense of identity. They're always helping. They're always looking after others. And finally, if we cannot be either of the first 3, we're going to be the rebel. And so we have to realize that we are, more often than not, one of those things. And if there are more than one family, if there are more than 4 family members, then there are more than, it repeats itself. But we want to realize that some of us, we can't help helping others because this is what we've been doing since childhood. This is what we believe we should be doing. This is who I am. This is my role within that family cell. And so for a lot of us, if you are always attracting people who need your help, and you help them, and every now and then you're thinking, gosh, why am I always there for others, but no one is there for me? It is because of this. It's because in childhood you have created that sense of self within the family cell, and you ended up with that sort of habit that is still there and affecting all of your movement, everything that you do, all of your interactions. You're going to attract people who need you. Even in your relationships, you will attract people who are either very problematic or who comes with tons of baggage, mental, emotional, or physical, because you need them to complete your own narrative, to fulfill your superpower, which is to help others. You are the helper. So, yeah, I hope it makes sense. Is it what you meant, to ask Kay. John, why do people believe the world is flat and we never landed on the moon? Are either of them true? Is the world flat and did we land on the moon? So based on science, and I like science, we have indeed been on the moon and the earth is not flat at all. Now, why do people believe that? There may be all sort of reasons. Generally speaking, people believe something because it kind of makes them belong to a group of people, belong to a reality that they feel better in. So it's not about the reality of things, it's why they need it. And it may be because they're reacting against the establishment, against the media, the government, the corporate media. And so they may be rebelling against it at the subconscious level and thinking, now I'm sick of you lying to me, I don't even want to believe in this. I don't want to be manipulated anymore, like all of you sheeples. But maybe also there's some element of religions. Maybe some people in some part of America, which is where it comes from, I think, they kind of reject many ideas of science because they're so heavy on their religion that they want to use religion to control everyone. So they're going to come up with some narrative that kinds of this scientific facts to have the illusion of having more power than them. So they're going to create all that sort of propaganda, and some people will believe in it, and somehow it may develop into that. But the main drive behind believing conspiracy theories, as far as I can see, is some sort of emotional instability. If we're suffering from anxiety, from depression, if we're always stressed out, if we're under pressure, if we're not happy, if we live in fear because we are dealing with poverty, if we are scared of financial state of the country and political state, if we're always living in a state of fear, and if it's unfair, and if we have some pain, some discomfort, as it's the case in many places in America, because if you think about it, the health system is terrible there. So everyone is terrified of being sick. If you're sick, you're going to go bankrupt. And so all of those things are created for people to be in that state. And what happens is that if you are on a constant state of anxiety and stress, you don't have access to your logical mind as much because you're in a survival state. And as long as you're in a survival mode, then intelligence is a luxury. You don't have that much access to your logical, rational mind. You're just going to react emotionally based on some instinctual systems that are very, very ancient in your mind and body. And this is precisely why people who are at the top are making sure that in society, people at the bottom stay angry, stressed out, fearful, uncomfortable, living in pain and poverty and scarcity, because they're easy to manipulate. All of these things are happening to you because of the others, because of the foreigners, because of Brussels for Brexit, because of the Chinese for COVID, and so forth and so on. There's always the others, because of the Arabs, the immigrations, the terrorists, or whatever. There's always going to be the others, and this is what people do. They get people into a state of terribly uncomfortable, constant discomfort, distress, fear, so that we can manipulate them because they don't have access to the intelligence, them. And then as a result of that, some people believe in conspiracy theories because it gives them an illusion of freedom. I'm not happy, I don't know what's going on, everyone is taking the piss, everyone is always laughing at me, belittling me, no one cares about my well-being, no one ever helps us. And so I don't trust anyone, and I don't want to trust that. And you know what? Vaccines, they are a hoax. Going on the moon is a hoax. The earth is flat, and we don't want to believe anything because we want to regain some illusion of control. I'm going to choose what my reality is about. I'm going to come out of the matrix, sort of things. So those are all sort of different perspectives as to why some people may believe in conspiracy theories. But to me, the main thing about it is that your physical and emotional state is going to dictate your ability to access or not your critical thinking. If you can access critical thinking, you can realize the earth is round, it's not flat. And whatever is what people believe in, they can find information and realize This actually is correct. This is not because we have critical thinking. But if you live in a constant state of anger, rage, anxiety, victimhood, um, guilt, shame, then in those moments, in those states, you will not have access to your critical thinking. You will not have access to your rational, logical, intelligent mind, your brain. You'll be just reacting from your nervous system constantly, and then you end up believing anything and anyone and voting for people like Donald Trump or Brexit or some right politicians in some part of Europe. This is what happens. And this is how psychology is so important, because it dictates really everything. People at the top, they understand this. And they play with that every day. They use it to manipulate people emotionally. I hope it helps. Does it, John? Mumu, I would like to thank you for your videos. You are giving me inspiration. Thank you so much, Mumu. I'm so glad it does. Thank you for the feedback. Rosie, thank you for your post. They're reminding me to be mindful, peaceful, and giving me perspective in a chaotic life. Thank you, Rosie. I'm glad that it's helpful. Josiah Lawrence, how can I take care of my employees who are people pleasers? They get burned out easily. What can I do to care for them? Oh, it's a very good question. Well, you can tell them, you know what? I don't know. This is a good question, because no one has ever asked me that. And it's something that employers should ask already. If you care about your staff, about your team, speak to them and tell them, I don't want you to kill yourself. I don't want you to sacrifice your life, your happiness, and your health for that. Let's try to find ways to be optimal. And I'm not sure how to answer you that. There are some systems that can be applied within the workplace that will optimize people's ability to do things without getting them to burn out. When we burn out, it's because we're doing too much of something and not enough of something else. And so the system can be changed. I think there's a lot of studies that demonstrate that people who work a limited amount of days in the week and hours are actually more productive than those who do 7 to 6, 8 to 6, 5 days a week. And so it's a matter of quality, not quantity. But if you're an employer, you can actually tell them, speak to them and tell them, this is what we need to do. And I'd say find systems that are going to get you, one, to communicate with them, and two, to have better systems so that everyone are working at the most optimal way within burning out. Generally speaking, burnout comes from two things. Not only we're doing too much of something, but also we don't get anything in return. So it's something we can talk about. People are burnt out when they are doing a lot of work, but they don't get a reward from it. They don't get satisfaction from it. It's still not enough. And so maybe as an employer, you could actually give them some reward, some incentive. Tell them, have an appraisal. Thank you. I can see you. I appreciate your work. I'm going to give you a bonus, or I'm going to give you, we're going to do a day out as a team to celebrate that together, or whatever it is. Do things that can make them feel appreciated. Make them feel appreciated for their work, so that we can actually have something back. And so it's not just about giving, doing, trying to get to that place. Now we have something back, and that helps with the burnout. When people work a lot, if they're satisfied, if they love what they do, that's a reward in itself. Right? Like me, for instance, I don't burn out. I could burn out. Actually, no, it's not true. I have some instance of burnout every now and then, but that's because of my conditions. Sometimes it affects my sleep because of my ADHD and other things like that. But because of my ADHD, I obsess over things. And I literally work 24/7. My mind is always thinking about stuff to do with psychology, mindset, therapy, all the time. I read books, I listen to audio books, I do studies, research, I write things, I create content, I look after my clients every day. I'm obsessed with that. That's all I talk about. But I don't burn out by doing this because I love this. Because as I'm doing this, it makes me happy. I love it. It stimulates my brain. There's nothing more exciting for me than to stimulate my own mind by thinking about those things. I do a lot of meditation. I come up with some new ideas, some new things all the time, and I love it. And so this is it. I don't burn out because of that, because I'm enjoying it as I'm doing it. People who burn out, they are on the treadmill, on the wheel, like the hamster wheel, and they're just doing something, they don't get anything from it. And so maybe you as an employer find ways to give them something back so that they can feel appreciated. I think that'd be a great way to do this. And also talk to them, tell them, maybe organize some people like me to talk about burnout. So I don't know where you are, but if you're in London, I could come into your office. I've done this for a long time, and I can do a presentation, 1 or 2 hours, where I talk about the importance of mental health, well-being, how to optimize what we do, to be more productive, but also to be more happy and healthy. By doing that, you are bringing that notion into your workplace. You're learning and teaching them about this. That could be a very, very good thing to do. I haven't done it for a long time, but there was a time where I did it every week. I was all over London doing all sorts of talks and presentation about all sorts of different topics. So that could be something very good to get them aware of it. If we're not aware of something, we just keep going until we burn out. So yes, anything to do with mindfulness, anything to do with mindset, anything to do with work-life balance, those sort of things, I believe would be highly beneficial for your workplace. So yeah, try those things, see what happens. What do you think about this? Who is it from? From Josiah. If they are people pleasers, it's for them to work on themselves. Because when people are people pleasers, to go back to your original question, Josiah, it is a trauma response. It's a system that we create because of our childhood. And so this is more something personal for them to address. But if you can recognize that like that, you can be kinder as a person. You can realize this, you can realize that they are overdoing, they're over being nice to you because they feel that they have to. So maybe be kind to them, see them in those moments and tell them, it's okay, you don't have to do this. You don't have to say yes. I can feel that, ask them, are you sure you want to do this? You don't have to, but it made me happy. However, I want you to be happy as well. So, let's take a breath and think about it. Let's talk about this and give them a chance to actually say no to you or say maybe later, or communicate with them. If you know that they are people pleasers, you can communicate with them in a different way because you know that. They're not doing things because they want to. They're doing this because they feel that they have to. They don't have the choice. So give them the choice. Tell them, you know what, who wants to do this? And you don't have to do this. Or maybe, I don't know, come up with something. See them, talk to them. Interact with them with the understanding that they are people pleasers. And that people pleasing behavior is born from trauma. Does it help, Josiah? Lynn, I think I am more disappointed that info my brother wants, let parents, date of birth, etc., which he should know more than the radio silence. Also, he is in constant contact with our older siblings. Okay, so we can talk about this. Let me read it one more time just so that I can get it right. I think I am more disappointed that info my brother wants, in bracket, let parents' date of birth, etc., which he should know more than the radio silence. Also, he is in constant contact with our older siblings. So you have expectations, you make assumptions, and you don't know what is going on in your brother's mind. In a family, everyone has a different experience. Not a single sibling has the same experience as the other sibling. But also, not a single sibling has the same parents. Because as they grow up, the parents are changing. They have a different relationship with each personality as a start. But also they change. They become different parents, different people. And also, they're not going to treat the first child the same as the last one, as the middle one, with different dynamic. And so what it means is that your experience of growing up in your family is only yours. What you expect for people to do is only yours. You don't know what is happening in your brother's mind. Maybe he felt unloved. Maybe he was jealous. Maybe he felt unseen. Maybe he's been hurt in myriads of ways you have no idea about. Maybe he dislikes you, just you, but not the other siblings, for whatever reasons. This is what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean that he doesn't care. It doesn't mean that he doesn't want to connect with you. to me, people do what they do because they have their own their own past, and this is a reflection of what happened to them. But it's got nothing to do with their personality. If you can understand the bigger picture, if you can understand what is happening, why are you like that? Do you have a problem with me? Can we talk about this? Then now you may be able to have a communication, a relationship, and understand each other better. Yeah. Because the way I'm not, the way what you phrase it makes me feel like you're thinking, there's something wrong with that brother. Why can't he be like the other ones? Why can't he be normal? But the thing is that people are like that because of X, Y, Z. So instead of thinking, what's wrong with you? What we want to do is to ask them, what happened to you? What makes you say that? I want to understand how you feel. I am not judging you. I'm not projecting. I'm not expecting you to be like me. I want to find out how you feel. Tell me, please, how you feel. And now things are different. Because if you say things like, I'm disappointed by him, it tells me that when you speak to him, he feels that energy from you. And I'm sure that you come from a good place and you don't seem very aggressive. So you seem, very chilled and reasonable person. But still, as far as your brother is concerned, he feels judged by you. He feels that you are not giving him a chance. And maybe this is how he's been feeling all his life. She never saw me for who I am. She always looked down on me. She was expecting me to be different. She never get me. And maybe because of that, it's even harder for him to speak to you, to connect with you, other than when he needs your help. So I'm just assuming those things. I don't know for sure. But just based on what you say, this could be a high probability. So what do you think about this? Does anything resonate, Lynn? Lady C. Oh, hello, Lady C. How are you doing today? Meo Gang. Hey, some conspiracy theories have a lot of truth to them. Yes, of course. I'm not talking about the veracity of conspiracy theories. I was talking about why some people have a propensity to be attracted by conspiracy theories. That's it. I'm not talking about the theories itself. I don't care. This is a whole different conversation. I'm talking about the psychology behind why some people are more inclined to believe things that are left field, that are not the general consensus. But I know that some conspiracies indeed have been proven true over time, and so I've got no problem with that. Really, I believe in those sort of things. I believe in things that some people don't believe in, or most people don't. I believe in aliens, for instance. Some people may think it's conspiracy theories. I don't know, maybe it's not. but again, it's not about the thing. I'm talking about why people have that sort of mindset. John, thank you. Thank you, John. John, is reading fiction a waste of time when one should be reading self-help books? Do you have any fiction recommendations? Nothing is a waste of time if you enjoy it. Not at all. Actually, fictions are very good because they feed your imagination. So fictions are fantastic. I don't know who said that to you, but whoever said that to you, I think they are very, very self-righteous and productivity, and they don't realize that art, imagination are super important, even in terms of productivity, right? And so, no, fictions are great. Movies, books, stories are amazing. Parables, what are they? They are stories that brings you some sort of wisdom. And so expand your imagination, enjoy art, enjoy music, enjoy whatever, doing some sports. Everything is important. Everything matters if you enjoy it. If it's something that makes you feel right, it's bringing something into your life. And at some point, it will come out in different ways and be also useful in the most unexpected places and times. And so, yes, fiction is great, no problem. My favorite work of fiction is 1984. It has always been, and you'll probably stay because it's been such a long time, from George Orwell. For me, it's a book that understands society and human psychology so well. It was so ahead of its time. And the scary thing is that now we're realizing that it was actually a manual of reality. 1984 is precisely what is happening in the world, and it is explaining it from the psychological perspective as well. So I love that book from beginning to end. It's a perfect book, 1984. sadly, it's no longer fiction. It's a documentary about reality. It's a manual of how this happened. Now, it doesn't have to be this or that. No, self-help books are great if you feel like them. Fictions are great if you feel like them. Do both. Right? John, how many hours a day do you read? It depends. Sometimes I don't read at all. It depends. Sometimes I do a few hours. It depends on my schedule. It depends on my mood. And also, I don't really read that much anymore. I listen to audiobook because it's easier for me. Reading, I need to be in a very specific state to be able to read so that I don't need to go back 20 million times because of my ADHD. Whereas audiobooks are much kinder on me. And so it takes me more time because audiobooks are slow. You can't read fast. But it's much better for me. So what I do, I put my earphones and I go to the park and I walk in the park and I listen to the book, or I can sit down. And so it's a great way for me to be in a peaceful state and absorb this information in a relaxed way. And yeah. And I have always my button. Sometimes my attention gets taken away by a squirrel, by something. And so I go back. Sometimes I go back to chapters 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. But I really spend time thoroughly to absorb this information with no rush. So it depends. There's no amount of hours. A lot of people are going to tell you, you must do this, you must have a cold bath, you must wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, you must do some meditation and some whatever specific exercises, you must eat that and drink that and not eat that and not drink that. And everyone is different. There's no must. You must only do one thing. Try different things and see what works for you. So you don't need to read every day. You don't need to do yoga or to do some martial arts or whatever every day. You don't need to do some ayahuasca or take some magic supplements. None of those things matters. They are projecting their own system. They are trying to entice people that there's such formula that is universal, and it's not true. People are different, and so you go out there, you try different things, and you experiment, and you see what works for you. Anyone who says to you, this works and this doesn't work, they're lying to you. They're either trying to sell you something, or they're genuinely deluded. They think that because it works for them, it's got to work for everyone. They have no perspective, and it's not their fault. But they believe that they're the center of the world, and at some point they will realize that they're not, and they will realize that it was all very silly and foolish to share this information out there. Unless they're trying to sell you something. There's nothing in the world that is perfect for everyone because we're all different, and so it's for you to find out, right? And that goes along with reading literature or fictions or self-help. And there are no set hours. You do whatever you feel is right for you, okay? Develop your own system. Lynn at Josiah, can you maybe do team building activities or get someone to come give awareness class? Oh, so this is what I suggested, isn't it? Well done, Lynn, thank you, etc. Perhaps it's lovely you are a compassionate employer. Thank you, Lynn. So yes, we are on the same wavelength here. Cosmic Jedi, hello. John, why do people want companionship with reptiles and snakes as pets, or even fish, birds? I mean, they don't interact like dogs and cats. We're all different. So basically, you have an affinity with dogs and cats. But because you have an affinity with dogs and cats, doesn't mean that other people don't have an affinity with snakes, birds, reptiles, fish. People are different. And so why? Because people are different. Because people have different preference, and it's okay. Some people have scorpions, some weird stuff. Some of my friends have all sort of weird stuff, tarantulas, spiders, and they love them. It's not for everyone, but you know what? They love it, and it's okay. Who are we to question them? Because we don't understand something doesn't mean that it's bad, doesn't mean that it's wrong, doesn't mean that it's weird. It only means that we don't understand it. So we must stop judging, projecting, comparing. People are different. We must stop. We must start accepting, tolerating, opening our mind. And so ask yourself, instead of thinking, they are not like dogs and cats, ask yourself, what is it the bird that I can like? So imagine yourself with a bird and you can think, oh, they're lovely animals, they're very joyful, they sing, it's beautiful. Some of them can speak, they have a personality, you can interact with them. Same thing with a rabbit or guinea pigs, same thing with spiders and snakes and, and I don't know, venomous, weird creatures like scorpions. Again, everyone is different. And so this is a very good question actually, because we tend to be wary of what we don't understand. And we are going to judge those things. But we can change our mindset. What I don't understand, I can either judge it, resist it, question it, or I can use it to expand my mind. How can I understand more about that thing that I don't understand? Right? And that now you're opening yourself, you're discovering more. You think, I get it, or maybe I don't get it, but it's okay. I don't mind if you're happy, and if you don't hurt anyone, why not? I hope it makes sense, John. Pumpkin Puff. Hi, Didi. How are you today? I'm very good indeed. Thank you so much. How about you? Lady C. Good, thank you. Less overwhelmed, but still some baby steps. Okay, yes, indeed, baby steps. Everything is about baby steps. We suffer because we want to do too much too soon. We have too much things that we are dissatisfied about and we want to change everything. But it's not possible. But if we can remind ourselves, baby steps. Our life is made of time. There's no pressure. There's no deadline. There's nothing to prove to anyone right around now. We're on a journey, a self-discovery journey. So everything takes time. And if we're going to undo habits of a lifetime, it's not going to take another lifetime, but it's going to take more time than right around now. Right? So yes, baby steps. Well done, thank you, Lady C. Lynn. No, we've always been close. Our older siblings are the ones who've been cruel to me. I don't have contact with them now, but he does. I'm sad he doesn't know our parents' date of birth. It was my mum's father. Oh, all right, so again, so okay, I get it. So you get along, okay. However, you are sad that he doesn't know the date of birth, but you don't know why he doesn't know. You're assuming. There's a part of you that is thinking he doesn't know the date of birth because he doesn't care, because they're not important to him, and so he forgot. But maybe he has tons of things in his mind that are more important than the date of birth of the parents. Again, this is the thing, and also maybe he's got some conditions that is affecting his memory. And so speak to him. If you get along with him, it's easy. Just ask him, you know what, why? And whatever he says to you, take it with compassion. Don't judge him. And realize that we're all different. I think the main problem is that you are disappointed because he doesn't remember things that you think are important to you. Just change this. Is it important for you to feel bad because he can't remember something? How about he just forgot? He had other things in mind. It's not a big deal. I'm with my husband. We've been together for 20 years. He doesn't know my phone number because now we don't need to. But I learned his phone number by heart because I'm very practical, and I know that if I lose my phone, I may need to remember his number wherever I am. So I did that. But he still doesn't. And I told him a few times at the beginning of our relationship, and when I accepted, he doesn't want to. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all different, and he's got different lists of priorities. 20 years. He doesn't know my phone number. I could be upset at that, but I'm not, because I accept him. He's got his own system, it's okay. And I believe that he will find a way, in his own way, whenever he needs it. And so accept your brother the way he is, even if he doesn't remember date of birth. Learn how to love him unconditionally and think it's not a big deal after all. Does that help, Lynn? Kay, have you seen The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie? Strangely enough, I've never seen it, even though I'm a huge fan of David Bowie. I know it doesn't sound like a very fun thing to be, but I'm a hardcore fan. I've been listening to him all my life, and he's my biggest hero and idol. But there's a lot of things about him that I didn't explore, because I don't have to explore everything about him. For me, it's about his work, and I don't need to, there are some albums of him that I listen more, that I read about him. I love to watch his interviews and stuff. But when it comes to movies, I don't believe that I have to watch all of these things. It's not the cult of someone. It's more the cult of his power, his talent. And so I haven't seen other movies of him. I've seen Labyrinth, but I didn't see the one when he does Nikola Tesla. And I don't mind. I will see it at some point, but I don't really mind. There's a lot of albums of his which are more recent, but I didn't really listen in great depth. But there's a reason behind this. Is because now that he's gone, I like to live a little bit so that if I want to discover more from him, I can in the future. And so, I haven't seen it. Is there anything you want to say about that movie? Okay. Lady C. John, I have full allergy of cats and dogs and rabbits, etc. Reptiles are less allergic for me. Okay, so there you go. So that's another reason, right? A lot of my friends actually love those things, those animals. They have tanks full of them. The one thing that I didn't like is that they have to feed them. And some of them had some live animals, pets that were breeding to feed them. And so this is very cruel. I don't like this because they basically throw the poor rat or chihuahua into the tank, and you can see it being terrorized, terrified, being eaten. And so this is very cruel to me. So I wouldn't have that because of that. They also give them some frozen rats. So they have a freezer full of frozen rats. So you want to make sure that you don't mistake it for an ice cream, because that would be a very surprising experience. But we do all sort of things. So this is what we do. Because of that, I don't do it because I find it very cruel. But I understand the beauty of snakes. I had many times snakes, and they're beautiful animals. Very, very beautiful. I love the feeling. I love the energy behind it. I understand it. I'm not there with spiders yet. I don't know if I will ever be, maybe, but yeah, it's just different perspective. People are different, and also we must realize that when it comes to snakes and spiders, we've been conditioned by society to fear them. If you look at movies, everyone is scared of spiders and snakes. They're always portrayed as nasty, evil, bad, dangerous, and so because of that, at a subconscious level, we kind of resent them automatically. If you think about it, a lot of people not only dislike but are scared of spiders and snakes, even if they live in a country where snakes and spiders are absolutely harmless. So if you live in the UK, for instance, spiders, daddy long legs, maybe in the countryside you have some that looks weird, but they're not. It's not like the black widow. We're not in Australia. We're not in Thailand. We're not in any of those places. And yet, a lot of people in the UK, when they see spiders, they are terrified. Why? Because when we grew up, they've learned from their environment, they observed people being scared of them. And so they created that association. If those adults are scared of the spiders, it must mean that they're dangerous and I must be scared of them. And now, with no specific reasons, we are now also scared of spiders or snakes. In the Bible, snakes is bad, so a lot of people are going to create some mythology about it, and people hate snakes because of that. But again, if you live in the UK, you have some snakes, they're harmless, they're not going to kill you. It's not like cobras or rattlesnakes who are quite nasty when you look at them the way they express themselves. And so, yes, a lot of the phobias that we have are just inherited, borrowed from our observation of the adults when we were a child. And so if you can realize this, it's much easier to actually find a way to actually be okay with spiders and snakes and anything else. And it's the same thing with people when it comes to discrimination, but that's a whole different conversation. Okay, I think the point to this movie is to be thankful for our resources some take for granted. All right, okay, I didn't realize. I'm going to watch it at some point. I will watch it. I never really knew what it was about. But I will have a look. I can have time for David Bowie. Thank you, Kay. Serving my Redeemer. And Rand, Atlas Shrugged, is another look at the future of objectivity. Okay, so I'm going to Google it. It's called Atlas Shrugged from Ayn Rand. It's a novel. And Okay, there's a whole Wikipedia. I'll check it out later. Dystopian, very often. Okay, I will probably not have time to read it because I'm so behind with other things that I need to read. But I like to have some idea of what is around. So I will check it out. Thank you for that. Serving my Redeemer. Pumpkin Puff. I'm good today. I'm glad I got to catch you today. Fantastic. Thank you. I am actually kind of excited because plan on trying baking today for the first time in over 6 years. Fantastic. Oh, wow. Well done. I love the idea of baking. The Great British Bake Off. I don't know if you know that show, if you're in the UK or not, but I think it's an amazing thing to do. It's like it's like art and craft, and it's therapy at the same time, and it's food, gastronomy. So fantastic. Good on you. Good on you. Very exciting. Mumu, I have a question. I am on CBT therapy. My therapist wants me to describe trauma in details. It's really scary, unpleasant, and uncomfortable. Therapists think it is necessary to move forward. What do you think? So it depends on the therapist. You need to find someone that gets you. It can be traumatic for some people to talk about and go back there. It can be absolutely traumatizing you a second time. And so it's about finding someone who has the skills to get you to go in a certain place and find a way to do it in a way that is comfortable. If it's too much, maybe you want to change therapist. Or maybe you want to change therapy. If you have trauma, to be honest with you, trauma are not something that talking therapy or CBT would address. Because trauma is something that is in your subconscious mind. It's in your nervous system. It's out of reach of your thinking mind. So you can't talk yourself out of a trauma. It's like an emotional energy that is in your body. So what you want to do is to find ways to address that from where it is. And this is what RTT or EMDR do, for instance. You want to address your emotional subconscious mind directly. If you just talk about it, indeed, there's a danger, but it actually may get you back into some very scary and intense place and actually hurt you more than anything. So I'd say if they are experienced, they will recognize it and they will not force it. If they're not, and this is the problem, there's no really much regulation about any of those things. So it's the Wild West. It's about finding someone who has the right set of tools, but also understand human psychology, has some experience, and also do it for the right reasons. So all those things need to come into play. So if you don't feel right, I'd say abort the mission. Tell them, you know what, I don't think it's working, I'm going to find someone else. No matter what they say, they may try to gaslight you and tell you, you have to do this with whoever it is, don't listen to them. If you don't feel connected to someone, but you can trust them, that are able to help you out, and you don't feel safe within the sessions, then there's something dodgy. Now, there's some level of discomfort, indeed, but there's a difference between discomfort and going back into places that really stress you out. It's two different things. When I look after my clients, for instance, I always make sure that they know that when they are facing anything that is overwhelming, they can pause, they can stop, they can choose to do something else. They're always in control. And this is very, very important. Otherwise, we end up traumatizing them a second time. And the most important notion of being a therapist is that we should not hurt others. We should not harm. That's the most important thing, before anything. Nothing else matters. Because the people, they suffer already a lot. And so, yes. Mumu, do you want to talk more about this? Seri Orchid, hi. Hi. How do I get over agoraphobia? It's the fear of crowd, isn't it? I can barely leave the house unless I am with someone. I understand some of it is due to CPTSD. How do I change my fear on being outside, please? So the way that I would do it, if we're going to work together, would be to address in your subconscious mind through the portal of hypnosis the situation that gets you to have agoraphobia, and I would change that energy so that you don't feel the same anymore. Now, if we are going to do it from that perspective, it's not going to be as effective, but it's possible. And what you want to do is to basically, this is the thing, it's different because there's so many possibilities, but generally with agoraphobia, an event has dysregulated your nervous system so much because it was so overwhelming to do with the crowd, but there's a part of you that believes that it's still happening now. And it's keeping you on the edge, and every time that you are facing the crowd, it's triggering that response. Your nervous system anticipates things. It creates predictions. And so what have happened to you? You have created some associations, some attachments, some triggers, some cues, some hint about that thing. Now, you're going to be facing different hints and cues all day long. And if some of us are to do with what happened, now it's going to get you into the same state as you were. And that state is because it believes that if you're into that state, it keeps you alert, it keeps you focused. It's your survival state, fight, flight, freeze. You're hyper-focused onto your surrounding. Your whole body is tense, ready to fight, flight, or freeze. So basically, it's getting you into that state because it believes that it's useful for you to stay alive, to be in that state when you're facing those little cues and triggers, which is being outside. And so you want to address those triggers. You want to find out what happened. You want to change the meaning of what happened. You want to realize that whatever happened to you then was then. And now you know things that you didn't know then. So now you have some systems, some coping strategies that you can use to no longer feel overwhelmed if that was to happen to you again. So that's what we would be doing from a cognitive perspective. But really, when it comes to phobia, you want to find something to do with hypnosis or meditation. You want to access your subconscious mind. Some people suggest gradual exposure, and that's one thing that we can do. You know what, for me to give you some recommendations, I would need more from you. I would need more details. But essentially, at a general level, you want to understand what happened, you want to change your perspective, and you want to practice gradual exposure. Does it make sense, Siri? But if you can have access to any system that can access your subconscious mind, this is by far the best method. Siri at Mumu, I totally get that it's so scary. I can't even go to therapy yet. They're still trying to calm me. Okay. Again, if you have trauma, talking therapy may not be the best thing. I don't want to say that it's categorically wrong. No, there are all sort of things. I never want to be the person who is negative and self-righteous. I believe that all sort of things happen. But at a general level, it's true that when you have a trauma, it lives here, not there. So you can't talk yourself out of it. Or if it happens, that'll be because of other parameters and over a long period of time. But it has never, but let's put it like that. Talking therapy has never proven in itself to be very efficient for so many problems that we have in regards to our mental and emotional health. Kay Stevens, awesome movie. I thought you might find it interesting. Only he could play that character. I'm glad you're interested in seeing it. Yes. Again, I'm a huge fan of David Bowie. And yet, Lynn, I've always loved, but thank you, I will check it out. Lynn, I've always loved unconditionally, but my siblings have always been judgmental of me, mostly unjustified, and that's hurt me. They selfishly left me to look after our parents, but bragged they did. Okay, I'm sorry to hear this. So how are you doing now? What can we do about this now? Are you still looking after your parents? Are you still resentful of your siblings? We can talk about this if you want. It's important for you to speak out your truth. If you feel that things have been unfair, you have to find a way to let it out and tell them frankly, honestly, directly. Otherwise, not only you've been looking after our parents and they're taking credit for that, but you are feeling all that resentment. It's hurting you. They're hurting you. They may not realize this, or they may, but they are hurting you. So you need to find a way to let go of that. Serving my Redeemer. It matters not what you thought to be, but that in which you are. let me get my head around this. It matters not what you thought to be, but what in which you are. I don't understand. Whose quote is it from? Because to me, the way that I see it is that what you think you are, you become. So it's the same anyway. What we are is the result of what we think we are. And so I'm not sure. I'm sure that there's a different context. If you can explain maybe that quote to me. Pumpkin Puff. My mum absolutely loved the British baking show and tried to recreate some of the dishes. They are a very creative bakers. Yes, and it's also surprisingly a very entertaining show. Somehow they came up with a very good formula. Seri Orchid. That is exactly how it feels. Constantly in security mode, hypervigilant, highly stressed outside. I will try to do as you suggest. I will try meditation. Yes, meditation is a great thing. It's going to take some time, but meditation is a journey. So there's a lot of different types of meditation and mindfulness protocols. But it's for you to learn how to realize by looking inward some things about you that you can change. Seri Orchid, thank you so much for your advice. I appreciate you taking the time to be so kind. Thank you, of course. Thank you. Okay, as far as agoraphobia, I believe it originated in childhood. In my case, a parent who put their child on public display to perform perfectly. Public humility. Who do you tell at 5? Okay, so you have an idea as to why you would have agoraphobia. Is it you who asked me about it, or are you talking about someone else's problems? Let me find out. I think you are addressing someone else. You are sharing your opinion. Okay, that's fair enough. Yes. So yes, some people may have agoraphobia because they're put under pressure by their parents or their child to perform, and because of the belief that they have to be good enough to deserve their parents to be proud of them. Then that pressure created an outcome that didn't work out so well, and now all these people are staring at them, and that could create this, that could do this. Yes, absolutely. But to me, it's not really agoraphobia. That sort of situations would, I don't know, because we're all different. But let me think. You know what? It can start like that. It can start like that, and if we have anxiety after that for the rest of our life, the anxiety can absolutely get something that seems rather innocuous or harmless and develop it into something much, much, much bigger. This is the thing. Very often we create systems in childhood and they are not such a big deal. But because we don't address them and because we live a life of stress and anxiety and overwhelm, then the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm, they feed that thing and it turns into a monster. It develops into something else and potentially agoraphobia for some of us. Pumpkin Puff. I used to bake often, but it takes a lot of time and makes a mess. So I haven't had the energy, but I'm changing my mindset too. If I bake and clean after, I get a tasty reward after. Yes. Think about it like it's not just you doing a cake. It's about being mindful of the whole thing. So it's about you thinking out first, what am I going to do? And next, going to the shop, getting the right ingredients. And then you doing it. And then you cleaning it. It's a ritual. Think about it like a ritual. It's not just about the gratification of having the cake. It's about doing the whole ritual. And the cleaning is a part of it. If you think about it, getting your place ready to do that thing is a ritual. It is the same for afterward. Create a habit as in a mental hygiene. It's important for me to go and do all of those things and enjoy, again, thinking about the ID, going shopping for it, doing the cake and cleaning. It's part of your therapy. It's part of your ritual. It's part of the doing. It's like a celebration. It's going to be what I'm going to do for the next 5 hours. It's my treat. It's Saturday afternoon. I want to do this for me. I enjoy this. It's my me time. You do it for your mental health, for your happiness, for your life. And so look at the whole thing, not just the cake. Think about the word ritual. Thank you for the little hearts. Serving my Redeemer. What others think about you? Okay, let's connect those 2 sentences together. It matters not what you thought to be, but that in which you are. what others think about you. Okay, I understand now. You're saying that it doesn't matter what others think about you, right? Okay. If you phrase it like that, I get it. And if it's what you said, I agree with you. What others think of us is their problem. It's got nothing to do with us. Right? Omnum, how do you feel about modesty and what does it mean to you? I'm going to the beach for the first time in a very long time. I'm okay with my body. I just don't know about clothes. It's personal. It's up to you. We're all very different. Some people like to show what they have, flaunt it. Some people like to keep it for themselves. Some people are body conscious. Some people are proud. Some, they're very, very different. There's no universal rules. There is some decency laws. So you want to know that different places, we have some different systems. So if you go in the south of France, for instance, everyone is topless, including women. And it's normal there. No one cares. It's always been like that. I think it's the same in many parts of Europe. But if you go somewhere in America, probably women with no top is not going to be a good idea. Right? So you want to check out how others are doing and then do accordingly. But you know, you have your own sensibility, and that's pretty much it. If you go, I think if you go to places like in Germany, so I've never been in those sauna, but apparently in general public sauna in Germany, it's mixed and everyone is naked, men, women, children, and no one cares. It's very normal. So to me, it's a bit weird because I'm not used to that, but to them, it's okay. So know this. If you go there, understand that this is how it's doing, and adapt yourself to that situation the best that you can. Right. Modesty or not is just down to your belief about yourself and your body. So basically, listen to your body. Listen to how you feel and do whatever feels right for you whilst considering the rules in place in that part of society. Mumu, Dilikan, thank you for your reply. I'm sure she wants to push forward with therapy, but I feel more vulnerable, ashamed, and stressed out. Take it one moment at a time. We deal with what we have to deal, and sometimes we are overwhelmed. We must accept it. We must accept that sometimes we feel helpless, sometimes we feel that there's too much. And so, if that's the case, the best thing to do in that moment is to just be kind to yourself, do things that are easy for you, that gets you to feel a bit better about yourself. And take it one moment at a time, and at some point, over the days, the weeks, the months, the years, you will be maybe able to take an action, to do something else, to open yourself, to ask for help, and to go on that journey. But you don't have to, you don't want to force yourself. We can't force ourselves to be happy any more than we can force ourselves to heal, any more than we can force anyone to do something and expect something positive to come out of it. When you force things, you're creating tension. Things must be allowed for the flow. When you're ready for it, you go for it, and then the magic happens. The reason why some people don't get healed is because they're forcing themselves. People are telling them, you should go to therapy, but if they're not ready, it's going to be much, much, much harder for them. And maybe it's easier for them to wait a little bit when they are more, again, emotionally ready, so that they can then enjoy that journey a little bit more than if they were forcing themselves. I hope it makes sense. Lynn, parents passed a few years ago. I stopped having contact with siblings except one. It's not in their characters to take ownership for their actions. I'm not resentful but get triggered at times. So you're not resentful cognitively. But for the fact that we're talking about it, it's still there. Somewhere in your emotional mind, right? That's what I'm talking about. I know that from a thinking perspective, you don't think about it. But if your body is still uncomfortable with that thought, and that's what it transpires, that's why we're having that conversation now, it tells me that you have some unfinished business at an emotional level. And so there are different ways to deal with that. Again, you can either address them or you can spend some time meditating and reflecting on that and learn how to accept them. Learn how to accept them despite everything. Learn how to find a way to forgive them by seeing them from a different perspective. By seeing yourself and your past from a different perspective. By seeing what happened between you and your parents and your siblings from a different angle. If you can find a way to see the whole of whatever happened, not from the position of who you were, why is it happening to me? Why are they so unfair? Why are they unable to speak to me? Why are they so mean? Why are they so selfish? Why is life so unfair? Why is it always happening to me? If you can change that and think, okay, so it's a process, it takes time, but you can think, okay, you know what? It was never like that. This is what the child in me experienced. Because as a child, I didn't have any perspective, so it was my truth. But now I'm a grown-up and I'm an adult. I'm wiser. I can zoom out. I can look at the bigger picture and realize that it was never because of that. They're not horrible to me, so you won't find out why you hurt first. You hurt because you're thinking that you're feeling taken advantage of. You're not seen. People don't care about your feelings. They use you. And it's not fair. And that was true when you were a child. But if you look now, you can see that it was not that, like that. They get you to look after your parents because it was easier for them. It didn't say anything about you as a person. It said something about them as people. Change the angle you look at. It was nothing to do with you. So you don't need to feel bad about it. It's because it was easier for them, because they had other priorities, maybe because we were selfish, for all sorts of different reasons. And you happen to be there, and you were caught into the dynamic, and the energy was stronger than yours because of X, Y, Z, and so you end up like that. But it's not because of you. It is because of that and that and that and that and all of those things together, and you happen to be there, and this is what happened. So if you can change that, you're going to feel better about yourself because you realize that you did what you could, but nothing was ever your fault. And then next you can look at them and do the same. So now, why are they so bad? But you can think maybe they're not bad. Maybe they did what they could do based on who they are, based on the situations. Maybe if you were in their shoes and you had their character, their personality, their own baggage, you would have done the same. This is the thing. We all do what we can based on who we believe we are within any situation in our life. And so even them, if you look at them and you think, they're bad, they're selfish, they're cruel to me, instead think, they are what they are, why are they like that? Zoom in and imagine their own story from their perspective, from their unique standing point and point of view, and imagine how it feels to be them. So maybe they have their own things, they have their own reasons, they have their own trauma, they have their own trauma response, they have their own priorities, and also they have a different outlook on life than you. And so, if you can see that, you can feel, okay, this happened because we're all pawns in a big chess board, and it's never because of me. It's because of everything. It just happened. We don't need to have a culprit. We don't need to find out who's right, who's wrong. We just need to accept that everything in the universe is a dance, but it's connected to everything and everyone else all the time. When we try to blame someone, we're zooming into one moment, one place. They're bad because they did that to me, so they're bad. And we do this because we need to have an idea of control and understanding of this world, otherwise we're lost. But if we can zoom out, we can realize it's not because he did that to me. He did that to me because someone did that to him. And so now I realize someone did that to him and then he did that to me. And so the first person was also responsible for my pain as much as him. Because if it was not for the first person, he wouldn't have done that to me. He carried on that energy of hurt towards me. He continued it. But if we zoom furthermore, we can realize that that person was also hurt by someone else, and it's ongoing. We are all affected by whatever is happening around us, and we are projecting that energy, and that creates a flow, and we're just continuing that flow. We are continuing that dance, that music. But if we can zoom out, we can realize that it happens because of everything. It's not just because of them, him, her, or me. It's because of them and him and her and them and me and more. And the bad weather and whatever and all of those things and so much more. And so now we don't need a culprit. We don't need someone to be guilty, to be bad. We don't need to feel bad ourselves either. We understand that everything is just happening. And what matters is that through that understanding, I can release the guilt, the shame, the injustice, the helplessness. I understand that things are always going to happen. And I can learn how to do the best with what happens to me when it happens, in the knowing that it will happen. We all have ups and downs, and it's okay. And so I hope that it made sense. What you say, Lynn? Did it? Okay. Yes, serving my Redeemer taught that what others think about you and how that reflects on the parent was all that mattered in my world. Yes, indeed. Thank you for the little heart. Yes, Kay, we've been all conditioned to give a great deal of importance to what others think about us, because this is what we have observed from our parents, the way they behave. We saw them, oh, don't make a fool of us in the street. Pretend that everything is fine. All those things, you can see them behaving and you learn from them. We all do. And we do that because society is designed in such a way to get everyone to be in line and to conform and to be normal and to be acceptable. And because of that, we all suffer. We should realize that we are all different and it's a beautiful thing. We must embrace our diversity and expand and grow as a society as a result of this. And that will serve our mental health as well. Pumpkin Puff. I agree. It used to be very enjoyable, bake with some music playing, but going to the store just to get all the ingredients was very overwhelming for me. But I did it and I'm proud of myself. So again, think about it like a ritual. Instead of thinking, this is the annoying bit, this is the good bit, and cleaning is also annoying. Think about the whole thing as a ritual. And then it will be easier for you to enjoy the shopping and the cleaning. Change the meaning. Instead of thinking, it's overwhelming, think, you know what, I'm going to go there when it's not too busy, when it's not too loud, noisy. And I'm going to enjoy. I love the supermarket. For me, supermarket, I'm with my basket, I'm like, for me, I'm like in Disneyland. I love watching product, buying stuff, seeing all the different things, imagining the recipes that I'm going to cook, I find it very therapeutic to me. I chill, I take my time, I never rush. And spend time in the veg section. I feel the texture, I smell the smell of it. I really enjoy this. And so if you can create that, be mindful of that experience and make it enjoyable. You can to add a dimension to the baking. Now, you don't have just the baking, you have also the adventure of going there into that wonderland of food and ingredients. And then you do the same with the cleaning. Think about therapy. You're cleaning your kitchen, you're cleaning your mind, your soul. And then once everything is done, ding, cake ready. But you know what? You should be proud of yourself if you find it difficult to go outside and you still manage to buy things. Indeed. I'm not ignoring this. It is something. Omnom. I am in Germany and I didn't know at first. I totally walked into a situation like that. It was pretty awkward. All right, okay. Men, women, and children, everyone naked in the sauna. But I can laugh about it. The others saw my face and bursted out laughing too. Okay, there you go. So they're used to that, I'm sure, when we see people who are different. So this is the thing, everything is contextual. If you understand that everyone is like that, over time you can get your head around it, and then it can become your normality at some point, maybe. Right? I remember a long time ago, in my 20s, I went into a nudist camp with my then girlfriend at the time. And we thought that it was a good experience to do. So we went there, because I'm a bit of a hippie, and so was she. And it was in the Ardèche, somewhere in France. And everyone was naked. And it was very weird because I had no problem with that, because I knew that it was a nudist camp. So everyone, obviously, you're naked. But because it's a nudist camp, you need to basically have no clothes. However, there are some situations when you need to have clothes. And so if you went to the shop to buy some food, people will have an apron, but will be naked underneath. Which I always found very, very strange. But that was the effort to do this. And so here's the thing. If I was to do that again, if I go there, I have no problem because I know. But if I go on a public beach, I would never do that. That would be very weird. I wouldn't feel comfortable. And so everything is contextual. And so if we can realize this, we can apply it into all the other aspects of our life and realize that we feel certain things because of the whole context and the narrative. If we can change that, if we can reframe that, then we can feel a bit different about ourselves. Now with the nakedness, it's going to take some time for some of us because it's a very deep kind of conditioning that we have, the body, shame, you know, all those things. But it's possible. Where am I? Pumpkin puff. So I plan on doing, as you said, my baking ritual. Everything is part of the process. It's okay if it takes a lot of time, and I should just focus on the enjoyment. Yes, absolutely. Do this, and let us know about what amazing cakes you came up with, please, in the future. Omnom, I like being somewhat modest, but I also want a good even tan. Okay, so it's for you to develop a strategy, right? So you are modest, but maybe at some point you can lie down and put it a bit more away from the look of the strangers and passers-by. I don't know. Create your own system by doing whatever you want to do within your range of comfort. If you really want to have a total tan, some people go into tanning booth. I wouldn't recommend them because I don't think they're very healthy for you. But some people do that. And then you can have a string, super stringy, or even you can take your thing off and just cover the front, and that would give you a total tan. But and everyone is different. Find out whatever works for you based on what is important to you. Okay, I'm going to start playing music in my house again. Fantastic. It can get people and routines out of a rut. Did I appreciate you? Had life-saving surgery 3 months ago. Fantastic. Thank you for the healing. Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear. So you are starting a new chapter in your life, right? Good on you. Okay. Great explanation of getting released from the boat. Okay. Lynn, you are mostly correct, Didi, but they expected, bullied me to always step up so they could live their lives. I had to give up my job, relationship to move back to care for parents. I couldn't say no. Yes, so let's talk about this. So now your parents are gone and your siblings don't want to speak to you. So now you have resentment because the fact that they bullied you into that. But you can change that. You can remember what I said earlier on that live. We all have different role in the family cell that we are being given. And so if you have done that, it means that to everyone else, and even to yourself, you have always been the carer. You have always been the one who's helping others. Remember, you can be the brilliant one, the sick one, the carer, or the rebel. You are the carer. And because of that, you done this. And so you may think it's not fair. But here's the truth. Even if it didn't bully you into that, you may have done it. Because this is how you also see yourself. If you allow them to bully you, it's because there's a part of you that accepts it, that believes that too. So again, it may be deep within your subconscious. But if you were a rebel, no matter what they bullied you, you would have said F off, and you would have left. And I know that because I'm the rebel, and I didn't stay for my own family. I couldn't. My brother stayed. He's the carer. And he resented me for years. And he never realized that he did that because this is also how he sees himself. And I know that because he has a wife and 3 children, and he's the carer for his wife and his children as well. He cares for everyone. This is who he is. He doesn't realize that he cannot do any otherwise. And so if you can realize this about yourself, despite your dreams, my brother told me, I could have done so many things. I didn't because of you. And I'm like, no, you didn't because this is how you see yourself. I was the rebel. I was kicked out anyway, so it's not as if I could anyway. But if we realize that we can change the narrative, it may be true that if I've bullied you, I get it. But also true, this is how you see yourself as the carer. And so they not only saw it, but you saw it as well. And this is why you allowed it. And so you can realize, you know what? Even if they were not here, let's imagine that all my siblings had a car accident and they disappeared. And I was the only one left. I would have done it. And the difference is that you would have no one to blame because that would have been an accident. And And so imagine that and see how you feel. Maybe that will help you let go of the resentment by just changing that perspective. Does it make sense, Lynn? Mao Gang, well done, one step at a time. Okay, yes. Serving my Redeemer. Who told you that you were naked? Talking to the to person who went into the German sauna. Pumpkin Puff, why do you enjoy the process of seeing and picking all the foods and the process of cooking? I guess I didn't think that I could enjoy all of the process. Yes, because we don't realize, because we are being taught I must be productive and efficient. So I'm going to the supermarket to get some food. It's like when people are going to work, back and forth from work, and you see them rushing after work, 6 o'clock, everyone is rushing. I've got to go to the supermarket quick, buy my food quick, go to home quick. And people are rushing. And you see people in the street, and I used to do that as well. They're walking, and there's someone walking quicker, and suddenly I need to walk quicker to beat them just because, whatever. And it's just stupid. Because in the end, we all end up with our feet up the air, doing nothing as soon as we get home. What was the rush for anyway? There's no rush. And so what we can do, instead of stressing out unnecessarily, we can learn how to enjoy each step. You know what? You finish work, enjoy walking from work. Put some reggae music and have that go to the supermarket like me and be in your wonderland of product. Enjoy it instead of rushing. And now you're going to be home anyway at some point without the stress, and you would have enjoyed all of those moments. And this is what mindfulness is about. It's about learning how to appreciate all the littlest things, the littlest moments. Everything matters. Everything is your life. You're not here, okay, this is point A, I'm waking up, I need to go to work, and after work I need to come back home, and after home I need to sleep for the next day, and after the next day I need to complete my week, so I have the weekend, and after a few months I need to go on holiday, and then I'm back and it's normal. And we always think about the next thing instead of enjoying the moment. Each moment is just as important. And so when you bake, when you shop, when you clean, whatever that you do, they're all opportunities for you to enjoy whatever that you're doing. And if you can do this, you are rich. You have more life, you have more happiness, you have more moments, you have more mindfulness, you have more of everything. We are so conditioned to be productive, to be efficient, but we are squandering all our chances to enjoy all those little moments that are just as important as any other moment. When we're going to come to the end of our life, we're going to realize that the best moments in our life were the littlest ones. Big moments are great, it's exciting. But all the littlest ones, they're just as, if not more important. I had, just like everyone, I had some big moments and some small moments. But I know that when I come to the end of it, what am I going to remember? When I was with my dogs and my husband sitting in the park, looking at the sky doing nothing. Just that, amazing, best thing ever. Or even now, whenever we don't have dogs anymore, when I'm on my own, just being in nature, meditating, chilling, being with myself, being with Mother Nature, just that. Those are the best moments. Last night I went for a walk and it was raining. So I walked in the rain for 3 hours in Roswell Square in the street because it was closed at night. And I was wet, but it was warm. And I enjoyed the smell of the rain. I walked around the park, I could smell the flower. And I just loved it. And that was perfect. And these are the moments that I will remember. Not the huge moments of celebration, success. They're there. But they're not the most important. That's it. Thank you for the little heart. Pumpkin Puff. If I play some good music, I'll probably enjoy it a lot more. Yes, you can dance and sing as you are cooking. Lynn, you're right. I've always been the carer. There you go. Thank you. And love looking after everyone. It wasn't a hardship looking after my parents. I just felt like I was an only child instead of a younger of 5. I allowed it. Yes, so there you go. So again, it's not about guilt or shame. It's about releasing it, releasing the anger, releasing the injustice. You realize that you would have done it anyway. And so you don't need to be angry and resentful towards your brother, your sisters anymore. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Because when you are resentful of them, that puts you back into the place of the victim. I suffer. But then if you look at them from the perspective of, you know what, they did their things, I did my things, and it's okay now. I'm at peace with who I am. I've done the right thing. I know I'm a good person, and I know that I've done not only what I'm good at, but what I should be doing, because this is how I see myself. So now everything is fine. You did what your body, what your subconscious mind told you to do. You followed your own prerogatives. It was never about listening to them and being coerced into doing this. It was you doing what felt right to you. And so, in the end, there's no injustice. You live your life, they live theirs, you have a different experience, different priorities, and it's all good. Does it make sense, Lynn? And thank you for this. It's not easy to realize those things. Pumpkin, you're exactly right. I wonder why people rush around, but then I find myself doing the same. It's just a habit. We're conditioned to do things, and if you look around us, because everyone is doing it, it seems like normal. And if something is normal, we're going to do the same. We're never going to question it. And so we need to realize it doesn't have to be normal. I don't have to be stressed out like everyone else. I don't have to rush. I don't have to react to others. I don't have to be mean to others or to myself. I don't have to do any of those things. But just habit we picked up from our parents, from society, from everything. We can choose a different system for us. What you said was great. I need to slow down and be more mindful and actually enjoy the small things. Thank you, Pumpkin Puff. Yes, indeed, we all do. And we all do. And it's so very important because when you do this, we're revealing a whole new dimension, a whole new world. We're in a different bubble. And we don't have the same experience as anyone else. And so when I go to my local supermarket, I chat to the cashier ladies. I know all of them. And we always have things to talk about. And it's great. And when there are some people stressing out, I take my time. I'm like, hello, I carry on talking, and I can feel the energy going up, and eventually they chill down because they realize that, them being angry will not fix anything, and so we calm down, and eventually we're good. But I never rush for anyone. It's like on the conveyor belt in the supermarket. You put your stuff, and then it goes, and people feel like they need to move to make sure that there's as much space as possible so they can put the things straight away. I don't do that. I put my stuff and I say where I am like that, looking at, and there's a lot of space, and I don't care. I can hear some people are having heart attacks behind me, but I don't care because for me, it's more important not only for me to enjoy myself, but to make sure that also people don't spread the virus of stress onto other people. I don't want to stress the cashier lady. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, don't be sorry. Take your time. Chill out. So how are your kids? Did you enjoy your holidays? Are you enjoying meditation? That book that I recommended you or whatever? And so this is what we want to do. We want to spread that and remind people we don't need to be all caught into that illusion that we must stress out. It's not normal. It's not healthy. It's not clever. It's not useful or productive to anyone. We want to show smile, peace. And so eventually, some of them calm down and actually learn how to do that over time. We realize, oh, it's true. I don't have to be an a-hole or a jerk. I can be nice. I can be kind. I can enjoy myself. Okay. Yes. Thank you for the heart. Yes, did I? We all have a little capsule of awareness and contentment. I have a memory of the sky at sunset. Yes. My feeling, everything's going to be all right. Little visual memories being alive. Yes, absolutely. Yes, there you go. Yes. Little things, little thoughts. Every now and then we may have some little visual of things out of nowhere that makes us happy. We think about someone that we care for. We think about something that happened to us a long time ago. We're connecting our senses. We can smell things, see things, hear things that make us happy. Just that is enough. Now, it's not this or that. We can have it all. We can have the bigger moment, but also enjoy the littlest one. If you can do this, now we're in a good place. Happiness is this. It's being able to be grateful and appreciative of what we have now, whilst being excited for the bigger things to come. Because we know that we want this and we know that it's available to us. But if we only want something and we're not satisfied with what we already have, then we create problems. I've written a post about it, exactly going like this. Wanting more is only a problem if you don't appreciate what you already have. And this is it exactly. It's not this or that. We really want to realize that we are creators and we can do so much out of our life if we focus on the doing, not the outcomes, if we do something that excites us. But we also want to generate that happiness right around now from the things that we already have. If we can appreciate gratitude and appreciation, now we're elevating how we feel. And it's much easier for us to have a clear mind and a light heart to create all the other things that we want. Lynn, yes, I would have done it anyway. Thank you, Lynn. Yes. Think it's just siblings expected it of me without thinking about what I had to sacrifice or if I was ill, etc. Yes. So this is what we do. But now that you see that you have done it anyway, at least you don't have the resentment for them coercing you into doing it. You may have the resentment for the fact that they don't care about your feelings and your well-being. And so that's a whole different conversation to address. But you can do the same. We can realize that it's not that they don't care about you, it's that they're overwhelmed by their own preoccupations. And so it's the same thing, but seen from a different angle. It's not because of you, it's because of them. And so you can explain them, and if it doesn't work, you can either ignore them, reject them, dismiss them, disown them, or you can accept them as they are. You can learn how to love them unconditionally, in the knowing that nothing was ever done to you, at you, because of you. It just happened and you happen to be there. You have different energy, and because you're the carer, you happen to be doing that in that time. And so we can apply this to everything. You know, your siblings, it's true that from one angle, they didn't care about you. But if you look at it from a different perspective, it's not because of you. It's because it was easy for them, they had their priority, they had their prerogatives. And you happen to be easy to allow this. You allowed it. If you're more like that, it would not have happened. And so it's not about blaming anyone. There's no blame in my world. But it's about understanding that in any dynamic, it's 50-50. It's the yin and the yang. It's not the perpetrator and the abused one, and they're all bad. Of course they're bad. However, the victim is also allowing for the predator to attack them. In any dynamic like that of people taking advantage, there's always an element of the victim allowing for this to happen again, allowing to still attract the same sort of people, the same sort of situation, allowing for the past to repeat itself. Why me? Why me? Because there's a subconscious part of them. It's subconscious, so it's never deliberate. But there's a part of them that is still allowing for this to happen. And so you, Lynn, this is your energy. You may be an empath, you have a different type of energy than your siblings, you are more passive, and so they felt it, and that allowed for that dynamic to be happening all those years. And you may have this with other people as well. I don't know. But if you realize this, then you realize, this is who I am. I blamed them all along, but it was always me as well. And so knowing this will help you let go of the resentment. You know what? Fair play. I didn't realize this, but I let them do that. They do it to me as much as I allowed them to. 50-50. Right? And so if you think of it like that, you're thinking, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to change. Now I'm going to not allow people to do this to me anymore if I don't want to. And this is how you fix not only you now, but your past. Because you'll be able to look back at your past and think, I was different then, I allowed it. Now I don't allow it anymore. And so you can't have resentment anymore. The reason why we don't forgive others when we have resentment against them is because there's a part of us that is still fearful that they may still hurt us. And so the mind is keeping that inside of us to protect ourselves. But if you have changed and you know that now you're not going to allow this anymore, there's no fear, there's no danger, and your mind will find it easy to let go of that thought, to let go of the resentment, to let go of the unfinished business, because you would have then given closure to that business. Oh, it makes sense. Serving my Redeemer. Quit working twice as hard for half as much. Stop and enjoy the smell of the fresh cut grass. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And also, instead of thinking, working hard, do something that you enjoy, right? If you enjoy what you're doing, it's okay to work harder. It's okay to work a lot because you enjoy it anyway. For you, if you enjoy what you do, like me, because I enjoy what I'm doing smells like fresh cut grass. It smells like roses. However, life is multidimensional, and so I love my work, but also I love chilling. I love going in the park. I love doing all those things. Everything is part of the whole thing, and it's all as important. We need diversity. We need to have different point of interest, different level of excitement. It's all very important. We need to be stimulated in many different ways. But my point here is to make sure that when you say quit working twice as hard for half as much, I want to make sure that we know that we want to choose to do something that we enjoy. So we don't have to go either black or white. Either I'm working and I hate my job and then I'm chilling. You can enjoy yourself in both. That's what I'm trying to say. Pumpkin Puff, you sound so lovely. Thank you. 100% agree with everything you said, and I love that you called stress a virus because it kills people eventually. Yes, it does. Too much stress is exactly what creates all of our problems, physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So the first thing we want to do, regardless of whatever we want to address, is to, number one, let go of the stress that is already inbuilt in our body as much as we can, and prevent any more stress to come into our body. Two things. You want to let go of we have an inbuilt level of stress as soon as we wake up. It's subconscious. Our emotional mind has got a lot of triggers, and we react to everything externally and internally. The things that are outside of us and the thoughts that we have and the feelings that we have, they're all going to trigger some stress. And so day and night, as you are sleeping, as you are awake, there's always stress building up. So the first thing we want to do is to let go of the stress. We can do some breathing exercise, we can practice yoga, we can do some mindfulness exercise, we can go for a walk, do things that make us happy, do therapy, change the way we think. All of those things are important to let go of the stress that is there already. And number two, we want to prevent for any more extra stress from the outside to get in. So we want to minimize our exposure to stress as much as we can by changing our lifestyle, by changing our environment, and also by changing the way we think and feel as well. And that is to do with our mental and emotional and also physical health. Stress inflames our body and our mind and triggers all of our conditions that were not meant to be triggered if it wasn't for the stress. And by conditions, I'm not talking just about ADHD or BPD. I'm talking also about very physical things, physical element, chronic disease, chronic illnesses. Lynn, exactly. It was easier for them to rely on me than step up themselves. They did this during COVID. I had to arrange everything for my dad's care with my son as sibling wouldn't have changed. Yes, you have changed. And also, you are proud. Think about it. You've been given a chance to look after your parents before they died. They didn't. They missed out. You have all those memories, you have your conscience. You've done the right thing. They didn't. And they have to live the rest of their lives with that understanding. No matter what they say, no matter what they think, there's a part of them that's thinking, gosh, I could have done this, I could have spent more time with mom and dad. And now it's never going to happen. But it's not your problem because you did. So you can reframe that as well, in a way that makes you feel better about what happened. I'm realizing that it's nearly 6:30. Gosh, I think maybe it's time for me to go. I've been here for nearly 2.5 hours. If you have any last question, do ask me and I will address it before I go. But other than that, I think I'm going to go slowly. This one, Pumpkin Puff. Instead of Jimmy the Cricket, Gemini the Cricket, I need a positive mindset. Didi sitting on my shoulder. Okay, if you want, you can see a small version of me with a big head, with a funny voice talking to you. One of my clients used to tell me that whenever he was thinking about something, he had a system, WWDD or WWDS. What would Didi do, or what would Didi say? So, if it works for you, go for it. Thank you for choosing me as your Gemini Cricket. Lynn, I realized I facilitated their actions. Focus on the things that you benefited from, not on what they get from you, right? And that will make you feel better already. Think about what good things you have taken from that experience for yourself. Claire M. Nice to be on a live stream that seems gentle and loving. Thank you, Claire. All the others are nonsensical or full of outrage and polarity. It's true, but there's a lot of clickbaiting, and also people behave the way they think they should be behaving. And a lot of us, we don't realize that we've been conditioned to react, but also to be mean to others, as in to create reactions. Everything that we do, there's so much meanness, but it's just a habit and doesn't have to be. And it's really something that I spend a lot of time thinking about when I observe the social media, when I observe how people interact with each other in the street, everywhere. There's so much anger, there's so much normality of being horrible to one another, and it's just a habit, and it doesn't have to be like that. And so, part of what I do is to try to preach the opposite as much as I can. But thank you for noticing this, Claire. Serving my Redeemer. Do what you enjoy doing, and you will never have to work another day in your life. Yes, indeed. Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yep. An old book. A very popular book in the self-help realm. Claire, all the other I came upon. Pumpkin Puff. Glad you enjoyed that. You are so wise. And I very much enjoy these chats. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you have a good night. I'll let you know how my cake turns out. Yes, please do. Lynn, thank you, Didi. It's been so cathartic to discuss my inner feelings with you. Fantastic. Thank you, Lynn. Kay, yes, letting go is the answer. I loved your lessons, Didi. Be safe this week and look forward to next week. Thanks for comforting. Thank you for your comforting words. You're a blessing. Thank you so much, Kay. Vyomesh Pal, sorry to interrupt, but can you tell me about what's an RTT therapist? Sure. RTT, it's a method invented by Marisa Peer, and it's a type of hypnotherapy, but a very powerful one to address any of our problems. And so if you have anything such as anger issues, procrastination, anxiety, depression, addiction, all of those things, we need to realize that the reason why we have those problems is because at some point in our past, we have created a system inside of us that we thought would be a good idea because of what happened to us then. But those systems, if they don't go unchecked, they develop into all those conditions as we grow up. And so RTT is a therapeutic protocol that involves hypnosis and regression. We go back into the past, as in the memories of the past, and we change the energy of those situations that happened so that we can change how we function. Everything that we suffer from is originally a system that we have created in childhood to protect us from whatever happened to us then. And so anxiety, for instance, or depression, they exist to protect us, to remind us that the world is dangerous, that we are disconnected. It's trying to tell us something about ourselves. So if we can actually go back to where it started and tell ourselves, our child's mind, or inner child, you don't need that anymore. Because now I am an adult. Now, as an adult, if those things happen again, I can use my intelligence, I can use my imagination, my wisdom, I can use my intuition, my resources as a grown-up to deal with that thing. And so I don't need the anxiety anymore. I don't need the depression anymore. I don't need the anger outburst. I don't need the overthinking. I don't need the obsession. I don't need any of those things because I've got my intelligence and I can always sort out anything right around now with my brilliant mind. And so now, as we do that, we're letting go of those systems that are no longer relevant. And this is how we heal people from all those things, by addressing their subconscious mind and their emotional subconscious belief. I hope it makes sense. And this is what RTT does. Pumpkin Puff, sorry for my poor typing. It's okay. Thank you for interacting. Serving my Redeemer. Thanks again, Sensei Didikan, for your strong tower and interactions with all of us. Blessing to you. Thank you so much. Claire M. Thank you, Didi. Nice to meet you. Lynn, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll be watching my favorite sport, Formula One. Okay, fantastic. Enjoy this, Lynn. Guys, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much. I love you all. You can find me both on YouTube and TikTok. And for those who don't know me, I'm a therapist, author, and coach. And if you need any more details about me as a therapist, there's a link on my profile to my website. If you go there, if you're interested in working with me, you can send me an email from there. And I offer free discovery call on Zoom, half an hour, to anyone who would like to find out if we can work together or not. Now, I also go live on YouTube and TikTok as much as I can, so I've been quite busy with my work lately. But I will come at least once a week on YouTube and at least twice on TikTok. Maybe just once this week because I was so busy. And basically, I give my free time whenever I can to give some advice for free as much as I can, to give some karma payback. So if you enjoy this, if you find it interesting, make sure that you subscribe and follow me so that the next time I go live, you can join and we can continue that. And if you know anyone who could benefit from that, get them involved, both on TikTok and YouTube, okay? Also, the difference between YouTube and TikTok is that on TikTok, when I go live, the live don't stay. Whereas on YouTube, they do. And so what it means is that if you want to replay the live today, it's going to be there. I leave all of my lives on my profile on YouTube. You just go on my live section and you can see all of them. And so if you come on my live and you ask me something, you can always replay the video to write down all the notes or the key points that you may have forgotten. And that's it. I post content on TikTok and YouTube 3 times a day, every day. And at some point in the future, maybe next month or the next, I will start to create some new long form videos on YouTube, but not just yet. But it's planned. So there's going to be more things happening at some point, hopefully. Okay, so let me read quickly the last things. We have old systems that are no longer relevant. Never better said. Fantastic, thank you. Viomesh Pal, thank you for explaining DDCAL. Thank you so much, Viomesh. Serving my Redeemer, like, share, and subscribe. Fantastic, thank you so much. Guys, I appreciate your support. I love you all. Have a great day or night, wherever that you are. Take care of yourself, and remember to be kind to yourself. Okay, bye-bye.